Hello, everybody. I feel like a sports announcer with that, but I'm not.
Hello,
Uh,
everybody.
welcome to Charmed Persons, and specifically another night of Candlekeep.
Candles!
Huzzah! Candles, and we're keeping them.
I keep them.
So, we're gonna jump right in. This time without a full recap of last session because I tried to narrow it down and it was a lot because a lot happened. So we're gonna do a very brief little the consequences of your actions recap
Oh
to
no.
understand where our crew has been the last 3 months since that adventure and maybe what they're up to now. So, about 3 months ago, the whole Amber Dune pack and some Jackal wares and cursed or books that were magically transforming into things that were attacking people resulted in the almost to be known as Muffins going to the Amber Dune pack's hideout and eventually killing a couple of their members. When it came back to it and they tried to bring this pack to justice, the guards realized that as the story went, just based on facts, they agreed to be peaceful back to the hideout, and Ryvar stabbed the leader, thus causing conflict. So, with that rehashing, thankfully, Candlekeep was able to step in and kind of provide some amnesty for you all. So, you just spent the night in jail, but were released with some glares and stares from the Watch, which is the guards of Baldur's Gate, and were thus kept under a pretty significant watch for the next couple weeks to a month, maybe more, by some of the members. The Amber Dune pack, as far as you know, were left to their own devices. You did see their bookstall closed and had not returned. Eventually, it was filled with a nice little bread stand, but no longer Amber Dune books existed within the Wide, which is the market at Baldur's Gate. After about 2 months, rumors, whispers, side glances died down to kind of more of what you would normally get as some unique characters roaming around Baldur's Gate, and really only the guard, the watch, were giving you these side glances occasionally if you happen to run into them. Ryvar, with your passive perception being ridiculous, you do notice that occasionally, not quite often and not quite long enough to really do much about it, but you recognize some of the Amberdoon pack still following you and keeping a little bit of tabs on you as you went about your normal business. Never approached you, never really were there for more than a couple minutes maybe as you were walking through town, but clearly they were keeping some sort of eye on at least Ryvar. Where we're picking up now is kind of a what's happened for the last month. Now that that's died down, you're back to normal activities. What have you been doing maybe leading up to this? And for that, we're actually going to start with Opal. As a more catalyst to our story this time, we're starting with Opal, and then we'll get to the rest of ours.
Hey, nicely done,
Totally did
Gemma.
it on purpose. um, but
Liar.
Opal, what have you been up to? Let's say for the last month or so.
I think Opal has actually spent the majority of the last few months in Candlekeep. The temple sent her on like a sabbatical of sorts. Any of the negative attention Opal was getting because she wears like the garb of the temple is also negative attention for the temple, and so they just kind of sent her to read books for a while, which she's been thoroughly enjoying, but is maybe going a little bit crazy from lack of actual human interaction.
Great. Well, while you're at Candlekeep, you do see the familiar faces of at least Sprig, who you've now met a couple of times. Well, actually, just really once. So, but they come and find you, say hi, have a little whispered talk about what actually happened, what they've heard from Tellus, and can't really believe you guys would be those kinds of people, so wants to kind of know the other side of the story. So you fill Sprig in on kind of what happened from your guys' perspective, what they were doing, what you tried to prevent, to hopefully maybe clear the air and provide a little bit more understanding on Candlekeep's side, as Tellus was a little aggravated with you all on the way you handled things, to the point of not offering the reward anymore for handling everything.
Yeah, I
that
definitely
you
bring
did.
that up like later, like after I've been there for a while and we've had some really good interactions. I'm like, hey, like by the way, I don't think we ever got, you know.
Uh, Sprig, in their kind of roundabout way, brings it up to Tellus as well as, oh, I heard like we still have this helm that we were supposed to give them, and I didn't see
Huh.
that it, went to them. Why is that? I, thought they completed what they should have, and basically the response that you eventually get through Sprig is that technically, Tellus as a
Technically.
technicality, you were not the ones to return the books. The town guard was. The death amongst everything was kind of a bit too much for them to say, yes, job well done, here's some money and a trophy for it. So because that technicality was there and the guard was involved a little bit more than Candlekeep wanted, they withheld the prize this time around.
Opal definitely spends a couple days after that, like reading law books, like into the legality of that technicality. I'm sure she
Okay.
comes up with nothing, but she needs to just really understand.
Sure. And with that, you would know, like, this was a verbal agreement, really, so there wasn't really a technicality to even be had.
Yeah.
It was written
Damn it.
down that if you complete it, but it was vague and just a letter to Ryvar, so you also know that even her technicality doesn't really count, but also there wasn't really an agreement that everyone was a part of, so. But in the future, maybe that's something that you do want to take into account, and for future
Absolutely.
missions for Candlekeep, write up a contract. Who knows?
I think Opal probably would spend a little bit of time after finding out that they were just duped, like making just a draft of a contract for their next job.
Love it. Great. Well, on your way back to Baldur's Gate, we'll get to everybody in a second. You spend the about 5 days kind of taking a leisurely path back to it. And on the last day, as you're probably only a couple miles outside of that southernmost gate in the map that we have pulled up, the outer city, probably about a mile or so outside of that, and then from there actually into where you live is probably a good chunk of time still. So it's probably early morning, and you're just getting a good pace going, and you notice a raven fly above you, and this raven's carrying a book, which is rather odd to you. It flies over you, and then probably about 10 minutes later, it flies over you again. You notice the same raven carrying the same book fly over you a couple of times over the course of 20 to 30 minutes until it swoops down and almost looks like it's dive bombing for your head. You have to kind of duck, and it swoops down, drops the book in front of you, and lands and turns to you and just starts pecking at the book cover, looking at you, cawing, and pecking at the book cover.
I would, before I actually open the book, take a minute to cast Identify.
Okay. You cast Identify on this book. As far as you know, the book itself isn't magical, doesn't have any extra things attached to it. It is just a book.
I'll open the book then.
All right, as you reach forward to the book, the raven kind of does a little bird hop away and cocks its head at you. And as soon as you kind of pick up the book and stand up with it, the raven flutters away into the trees and out of sight. As you pick up the book, you notice that this is a uniquely bound book. It's actually bound in some black oak, but it's scratched and pecked. You can see some fresh peck marks of where that raven was just pecking on it, and it seems like it wasn't the first time this book was pecked or poked or stabbed or something. This book has seen better days, and is bound with kind of a wire binding that kind of wraps one side of the binding and also the full book to stay closed, and likely how the raven was actually able to carry it. And that is a visual of what this book looks like as you pick it up. Inside, you notice that as you just kind of flip through, maybe not quite stopping to read it on the middle of the road, but as you flip through, you notice some like small and handwritten, just like scratches, almost journal-like. And as you continue to flip through, about in the middle of it, you notice a folded up piece of paper has been added to this book as well.
I will take out the piece of paper and close the rest of the book and like tuck it under my arm and read whatever the piece of paper is.
The piece of paper you pull out is a map. And it's not a geographical map by any means. It's a illustrative map, but just so everyone can also see it, you see this map from the book. And it shows some places, some of which you may be aware of, may not. If you want to actually analyze this a little bit more here, or once you get home, we can do that. But again, doesn't really show much of anything that immediately stands out to you, but you notice the inscription at the bottom that says, "Follow the trail to the Hand and Horn, past Three Tree Hill, over River Warren, to the Worm's Mark in the foggy moors. West of there, the treasure is yours."
Can I make like a history check just to see if I've ever heard of anything like this, or if I like recognize any of the places? That's
Sure.
a 7.
uh, as you look at this map and try to like notice some of the locations that are called out, none really stand out to you. So it's hard to say if they're just made up or were actually locations. But yeah, you don't really get much from just this map.
I think I would, even though I was headed to the temple, I think after finding this, I would just like change my route a little bit and go see Ryvar.
Okay. Then we will flip to Ryvar. So in the last month-ish leading up to maybe this moment of either being home currently where Opal may find you or somewhere else where she can find you, generally what's Ryvar been up to?
So, I think that after everything that happened, for the first few days, Rybar just tried to a low profile, not bring a lot of attention to his name. I was just reading, you rarely ever get to use it. I was just reading something about my background as a guild artisan for the Blacksmith Guild. And it says, simple things like they'll provide you lodging and food if necessary, pay for your funeral if needed, offers a place to meet, blah, blah, blah. But another thing that it says is that they, especially in a place like Golden, they wield tremendous political power. If you are accused of a crime, your guild will support you if a good case can be made for your innocence, or if the crime is justifiable. You can also gain access to powerful political figures throughout the guild, blah, 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 blah. He's not that huge in the guild, so like it makes sense that they didn't like come and do anything with the crime, but I do think that he would have at least spent a little bit of time going to the Blacksmith's Guild, explaining what happened, kind of saying like similar to how Opal was treating like her relationship with the temple, being like, don't want to besmirch the name of the guild, I want to explain my side of things. I think that, the guards heard it in one way, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but I do think that the guild would be a bit more understanding and understand like what was coming. Maybe they won't.
Yeah, and I would say Rorik, is that how you pronounce it? Rorik? Rorik? You're the blacksmith. The dwarf blacksmith.
Yes, Rorik. Yeah,
Rorik.
Sorry.
He can definitely vouch for you as like basically a character witness kind of person,
exactly.
as like knowing you, who you are, that you would not have attacked without maybe not direct like instigation, but without reason and without something behind it. So I would say with that, the guild itself is kind of has your back and understands the situation. They might not have a lot of pull with like the guard, but they're definitely people of like, if Rorik sees people whispering or eyeing you while you're working with him, he like will go and have a talking to them and basically shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Just as a way for like further, he doesn't think anything else will happen legally.
Sure.
But just as like, he's setting up his defenses already, just in case. And then I also think a way that he would, it says another thing about specifically being a guild artisan for Baldur's Gate. It says, you're familiar with the city's crews, their territories, and inter-crew politics. Choose one of the 3 districts of Baldur's Gate. I live in the outer city, so I the outer city. This is the district where you conduct most of your business. Whenever you need information about one of that district's neighborhoods, you can seek out crew member. You get the gist of it. I think what he would do with that is just when he notices that there's members of Amberdune following him, I think he would just kind of ask around, specifically in the outer city, to see if anybody would like have any info on them, because I think that Ryvar, knowing about that, like the creature that they were, or the woman, or whatever that they were trying to bring back, knowing that there are still people who might want to have that happen, I think he's still very much trying to like bring some closure to that quest. So I think he would just ask around in the outer city, just, you know, shot in the dark, just to see if anyone knew anything about Amberdune, and like just anything.
Yeah, I would say that with that, you know that, as I said, the bookstore's closed, and so where people would normally see them within the main part of the upper city or even the lower city, you know that they did have a home outside of this actual city walls. So they've like just not really been seen, and they've kind of gone into hiding almost a little bit, it seems, of just they kind of disappeared after everything went down. The rumor mill seems like they're obviously pissed at whoever had done it, and whoever had like instigated this closure of their bookstore, which people say is why they're mad. People say that the guard kept something from them that they're mad about, and then obviously members of their pack were murdered, and that rumor mill goes around. So those are like the main key points, but it seems like they've kind of disappeared almost. They're not sure if they're even still in the city. They just don't see them around that much, except maybe the occasional in the market to grab supplies.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I mean, I think he didn't expect as much. So I think the only other thing I would say is, you know, he does spend some time with Tierson Hollyleaf on the outside of the city, because between levels 2 and 3, you know, really embraces the way of the 4 elements, and I think that that's a big thing that he on in his 2 months is learning how to do that, and not to just make it super convenient, but I'm pretty sure if she would be willing, he would continue his like maybe week training sessions with Ezra, and maybe that could be where Opal finds Ryvar.
Great. Is there a certain spot that you guys usually meet for these
Yes.
little sessions?
I make Ezra meet me at the top of Dust Hawk Hill.
Love it.
Like at dawn. I'm like, if you
Okay.
because I think he would do this in a way, because he has a soldier background too, so I think that's his way of saying like, okay, you've bothered me enough about wanting to like me teach you some things, so I'm gonna make sure that it isn't just some flighty thing and it's something you actually do. So here's how you can prove it to me. Meet me at dawn at the top.
Love it. Well, that is convenient then, because before Opal joins you both up there, Ezra, what have you been up to besides your weekly meeting?
If
at
you're
the top
down
of
with that,
this hill?
AJ.
No, that's perfect.
Okay.
That's perfect because I think that in order to stay off the streets after the time in the clink, Ezra got a job at Candle Hollow's funeral arrangements. And it was just because she saw a help wanted ad in the window, and so she applied, and turns out her slightly feral but fun nature is really nice for people who are grieving, and so she gets a lot of really good business, or she has gotten a lot of really good business, I think, with them and the guy who owns it, or the person who owns it, or the lady who owns it. I don't know if we know anything about Candle Hollow's funeral arrangements. But I think that she's probably, like, in the last 3 months, really made a name for herself there.
Yeah, and I would say one thing I was going to mention too is Ryvar, just because there are other Dragonborns, but even still, you are a very noticeable character. Ezra, with your scar and white hair, you are a very noticeable character as a your Opal. Mr. Thomas, you may get away with less stares and looks and things, but the
Until
three
you
of
open
you
your mouth.
very much like are a known visually to a
Yeah.
lot of people in Baldur's Gate. So I think though there's a lot of people that do find your humor and your quirkiness a nice reprieve at the funeral home, there are those that know the rumors and know that you're working at a funeral home now
Yeah.
that are kind of like, that seems off. I don't know about that. Why, just it kind of it doesn't make it worse, but it just
Yeah.
adds another layer of these rumors about you specifically.
Well, and I tell everybody in the funeral home, just to relate to them, that I was a mother and I lost a child once. Because if you remember last session, I made the baby, the heart
Of the
my
heart.
baby, and then they took it from me.
That's
So
Go
that
ahead,
is
just
a
for
really
the fun of it,
relatable.
give me a persuasion check on that, just in general.
She is a charismatic.
Not a performance check. I was a mother and they took my baby away.
If you have a higher performance, I'll give you performance
No, it's
because
the
Ezra
same.
is a
It's a
character.
14.
Okay, I think some of the older people that work at the funeral home, like the owner and things like that, they believe you. They wouldn't see why you would lie. You look maybe a little young to be an actual mother, but who knows, kids these days. Whereas some
Kids.
of the more, we'll say, middle-aged that could actually be mothers or fathers and things like that, kind of give you the benefit of the doubt that maybe you're telling the truth, but kind of give you a little skepticism as you tell these
that's
stories.
fair. I still never waver in any retelling. It's always
yeah.
the same retelling. I do not consider the opinions of the people I'm telling it to. And yeah, so I would go there, and then I think that Ezra might have had a little interest in going to the Elsong Tavern after her shifts. To just mostly it started out as people watching, and then one time she had money because she has a job now, and so she bought herself a little drink and a little snack, and she really likes ale, turns out. And so she tells Ryvar every time she meets him for his training session how much ales she had the night before. And
Love it.
she has only ever had 3 is the most, but that's enough.
That's for sure, especially how intense that ale must have been.
Yeah.
Great. Then Opal, knowing these two long enough and being close enough with them, you know that this is a scheduled event that both Ezra and Ryvar have, and you know that today is one of those days that they would have met at the top of Dust Hawk Hill, and you have the choice of either saying, fuck no, I'm not climbing all the way up to that hill, I'll wait for them at the bottom for when they're done, or meeting them at the top to see if they're still there.
I'm a good climber. I'll climb.
Okay. So it was probably just a little late morning when you were outside of town, so it took you probably another hour or so to walk into town and get to the base of Dust Hawk. So it'd probably be midday. My guess is they'd probably train for most of the day, and take a nice, maybe picnic or something up there so they don't have to trudge up and down unless Ryvar forces Ezra to do that. But we'll say you find them both in mid-training session at the top of the hill.
Hi, Opal.
Hi.
Hello, Opal. Have you come to train?
No.
Opal,
have you
I've
ever
only
seen-
barfed 3 times today.
That's great.
That's the new record
Ah.
Well
of
done.
lowest barfs.
Have you guys ever seen a raven carrying a book?
Not in this lifetime.
Nor have I. That sounds. Is that something you're trying to accomplish?
Oh no, that would be. Now that you say it, maybe I am. But I saw a raven and it gave me this book.
What?
And inside this book was this map. I'll hand the map to Ryvar.
Oh, that is.
Uh,
Hi.
Ryvar, with your passive perception, and Opal, you hadn't really noticed because it was flying pretty high. But now being on top of this hill and at the mention of a raven, you look up and you do see what looks to be a raven-like bird, still a good ways up in the sky, but circling Dusthawk Hill.
Great.
Is that it? Oh, do I see it?
Must be.
It seems our time of relative peace over these last few months has come to an end, my friend.
Oh, are we getting a mission?
I think we are. Can I look at the
Well,
map, please?
Yes, and you should all, well, maybe you don't need to look over it, but I wrote us a contract. I think that our problem last time was a lack of contract, and I think that that's why we didn't get paid. It was a verbal warning. I've been doing some reading.
You don't think it was
But I
the
wrote us a
murder?
contract.
You don't think it was me murdering that woman?
I think if that had happened, but we had a contract, we still might have been paid.
Ezra, totally up to you. You can stop if you want.
I don't know. This is fine.
Okay. Kind of one of those things that if you... Oh! if I look at the map, do I recognize any locations or anything?
Give me a history check.
Loaded day. It's just a 12. Do I have a... no, 12.
12, the only name out of this map that twinges something in your mind is the town of Witchway. You remember hearing something about that being an actual town, or maybe it was just a town that was in like a scary story that people told, but there was something about a town named Witchway that was maybe attacked or abandoned or something, but it's been a common story heard in Baldur's Gate specifically. So, and it's supposedly a town just on the outskirts of Baldur's Gate.
Recognize this name. I might know of someone who could us find this out. Have you already talked to Thane, Sir Thomas?
No, the bird dropped the book, and then I walked here.
Is that the bird? And I point to the bird up in the sky.
Is there any way you can tell if that's the same bird? I'm assuming.
I don't usually have ravens circling me, so.
Would say either if you want to, give me a nature or a perception check to either see if, basically the nature is if ravens are common enough that you've seen that this one would be just one, or visually this looks like the same raven.
Alright, I have a higher perception, so. Ooh, 13.
The 13, and from this distance, and you're not like a raven or bird watching expert by any means, you can tell that it's a raven. If it's the exact same one, hard to tell.
How high in the air is it?
Above you, it's still probably a good 60-70 feet.
Could it be 60?
Sure.
Oh no.
I would love to.
Oh, no.
Oh wait. I just got a new spell and I was gonna use it, but now I don't think I want to because I think it's if I think it will do damage. Okay, never mind. Carry on.
Okay.
I'll read. It's a long one.
Who do you think you know that might know something about this?
He's been a good friend of mine for the last few years. He's older in years, an elf man might know of.
Well, let's go see him.
Should we try to find either of the others?
Probably.
Yes, is always the answer.
Yes.
Mr.
Matt
Thomas!
is silent this whole session.
No, I would not be caught dead climbing up that mountain.
Oh no.
All right, well, let us go and try to find Mr. Thomas. I think me personally, I think Thane could use a break. You know, I just feel like
He has been stressed.
yeah, like that really got to him. It seemed like the last one was like a really hot for him. So maybe.
Ezra, as River says that, you remember being someone that likes to check in on your friends all the time.
Every day.
You remember Thane recently, like yesterday or something, saying something about wanting to take a trip out north of Baldur's Gate into the plains and do some stargazing out there, away from the city, away from the hustle and bustle.
Yeah.
And he didn't say how long, but he wanted to go take a trip where he can study the stars in peace. And is at least gone for probably today, if not longer.
Okay, hang on. I know where Thane is. Oh, I'm gonna barf again. No, it's past. Okay. Thane said that he will catch up with us at some other time, but he's gonna go. Did he say north or south? Where the plains are.
It is north.
North. Yes, he's gonna go north. He's gonna watch the stars.
Oh no, that's. Oh no, I was actually just about to say, no, maybe we should go get. The timing on this is horrible. Let's go talk to Mr. Thomas.
Does this mean we can eat rabbit on this trip?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
We're finally free of the shackles of Thane.
Yeah. So I just say that and then keep running. Do I get anything for this? For continuing to run?
You
Do I
get
a
sweaty.
strength score.
You get very sweaty.
Oh, I
Point of
like it. I
exhaustion.
kind of like it. I did ride my bike today, so I'm feeling in character.
Perfect. Yeah, so all of you by now know that if you want to find Mr. Thomas, the first place to go is the stables. 9 times out of 10, that's where he's gonna be.
Of course.
So that's your first stop. So
There is a
we'll
place
see
in
if
the
he's
outer
there.
city, so-
But Mr. Thomas, I almost say Mr. Tumnus every single time I say it. But
Yeah.
Mr. Thomas, what have you been up to the last month, maybe more?
It definitely sounds better as Sir Thomas rather than Mr. Thomas.
Yeah,
Who
you're
knows?
not there yet,
one
kid.
day. Yes, I think you would think that I'm in the stables, although I'm currently not in the stables, and you all would know exactly where I am because Mr. Thomas is devastated that he got in trouble and is desperately trying to convince the temple tier that he is like not a troublemaker and good with his god. So he took oath of devotion, and the way his devotion pans out is that he is doing a public hunger strike in the center of town. He's got a big sign that says, Tyr has made me unworthy of food.
Oh my god.
Wow.
So we'll say when all the rumors are still happening, that you try your best. You start with kind of community service, and you're just helping the temple out as much as possible, and that just doesn't feel like enough. You don't feel like you're actually doing enough based on what you guys did and what you murdered someone. That's kind of at the top tier of bad. So no matter what community service you do, no matter how many people you feel like you've helped, it just doesn't seem like enough. Like, you personally need to feel almost like you're dying, and that maybe if you feel that and you lose that part of yourself of feeling hunger, not getting the nutrients you need, maybe that will get you to the point where you feel satisfied that you've now given up enough for your crimes, basically. So yes, all of you, as probably in the center enough, probably we'll say probably around the temples anyway. So there's kind of a on this map a little bit of an opener area right there, between the temples and the steeps, that he's held up and on his hunger strike for at least, I would say, a couple weeks now.
Oh, I'm so hungry, but I don't deserve food.
Hey, Thomas.
Oh, hey guys.
Thomas.
You're
Hey,
still here, huh?
I'm still here. I believe that I'm not worthy of food, and this is my penance.
Thomas, it is not murder if we are defending ourselves.
That's true.
Would you be interested in an adventure?
Well, I mean, I am kind of in. The people of this town are counting on me to. But I kind of think that I've.
I don't think I've seen one person even look at in your direction.
No.
In the amount of
They-
time.
I turn to anyone who's nearby and I say, "Citizens of this city, would you mind if Mr. Thomas came with us on an adventure?"
No, that'd be okay with me.
Literally no one looks.
I'd say you're in. I'd say that you're good.
Okay. Yeah. Well, most of the people came that first day, and then I think
Yeah.
they might have gotten tired of it. Okay.
Tira knows that we need you.
Yeah.
Okay.
She told us to come here.
Also, Thane won't be here this time.
Can we eat rabbit?
Yeah.
Hunger strike over.
I go into the middle of the square and I get on my hands and knees. Oh, thank you, Tyr, for giving me back the right to eat food. I promise you, I will never commit a crime again.
Do you want some crab rangoon?
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, yes.
I
Thomas,
got them from the tavern.
Oh, nice.
Thomas, have you
Thank
ever
you.
heard of the town Whichway?
Give me a
I'm-
history check.
I'm gonna say yes, I have.
Sure. This will give me a history
It's
check.
100% chance.
4.
You've actually never heard of this place before.
I'm so sorry, but my instinct was to lie to you. But this is the new Mr. Thomas. I have never heard of this place.
Okay, well, I guess we should go. I guess I never expected you to meet him, but go and talk to friend.
Love friends.
Do you not want us to meet him?
No, it's just very super personal part of my life.
Oh, who is your friend?
Oh, he's
Wait.
like a friend.
No.
Oh.
What do you mean?
His name is Tierson
friend.
Hollyleaf. He is, he's my master.
Is this a drug deal?
No, it's a
But
monk
he's
thing.
not-
He's
Okay.
I know
He
you.
teaches you.
Yes, everything that I'm teaching you.
Your
is,
mentor.
I learned from him. Yeah.
So you're my mentor?
Well, yes. Okay, let's go meet him.
Okay, I just want to get this out of the way. I would prefer if we didn't murder someone on this adventure.
I haven't while I've been in your company yet, and I won't this time either.
I don't
I've
think
killed
we really
people,
planned for those
Not
things.
murdered anyone. Okay.
Okay, well, I guess Tyr thinks differently.
Well,
We can do our best.
Tyr can talk to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Do you guys want some trail mix? I've been snacking on it the last couple days.
What the fuck?
That was gonna be my next question. Was, have you actually
Oh
not
my
eaten? And
God.
do I need to see if you're exhausted or dying? But I figured you were eating
I
it.
thought you looked
Okay.
pretty good.
It's manna from the heavens. Of course, that's allowed in a food story.
A
Definitely.
trail mix made
Uh,
of manna from the heavens. And some M&Ms that I just threw in there.
Yeah, for
Hold
sure.
on.
Definitely some chocolate.
What part, or I guess, where on the outskirts of Baldur's Gate does Tierson actually live?
I think he lives, like in the Nor Chapel area, but like you see those fields in the back, kind of like by Oasis Theater,
Mhm.
like close to like the fields. And I think
Okay.
he likes to go to the theater a lot.
Cute.
But yeah, I think that's he lives in the Nor Chapel area.
Okay, so you head back to where you were,
Yeah.
at the basically the base of Dust Hawk Hill. And give me 1 second, because I also never expected you guys to necessarily.
I'm
get
sorry,
it.
I don't know
No,
where else
it's
to go.
totally fine. But I got his.
You have a portrait for him? Oh,
You sent me a
do-
portrait.
Oh yeah, wow, it's been so long.
So you head to the North Chapel area, specifically kind of even more on the outskirts, similar to how the Amber Dune Pack had an outskirts town. The map itself shows the main areas, but people still live on the outskirts, just in like little cottages, things like that. And you go up and I assume just kind of knock on his door, assuming he's home.
Yeah, normally I might not, but I would say with company I knock. Yeah.
Sure. So you all see a elf man
Whoa.
answer the door with some sort of first, just casual expression of like, oh, Ryvar, I know, and then a slight furrow of the eyebrows, now seeing the rest of you kind of in tow behind him, and you're a little eclectic group that Ryvar has brought to his house.
Yeah.
And says, oh, Ryvar, hello.
He's told me to stop doing this at this point, but I continue to do it. I like clasp my hands in front of myself, put them at my waist, and then I give a slight bow, and I say, Tierson, I apologize for the intrusion. I have mentioned to you my friends that I have made over the past. How long has it been in total? Like almost a year at this point, or just like 6?
It's just been 6 months.
No,
actually,
it's been 3. It's been like 9.
It's been
1 week
because it's been about 3 months between
each one.
actual sessions, and you met in the first one. So
Yeah.
you met in the first one. It's been 3 months. You had the second one. It's been 3 months. So it's
A
been
little
just over
months.
6 months.
Yeah. I've told you of my friends that I have met in this past half a year. This is some of them. This is Ezra, my pupil. Have informed me
I'm
of.
his mentee.
Oh.
I've been showing her some. I am nowhere, of course, near your level, Tierson. You know.
I am. Ah! And I'll do a gust at his face.
He like genuinely smiles, knowing that the relationship he can only assume the two of you have. He's
Yeah.
like genuinely loving this,
Yeah.
but just with a casual smile, and just kind of like closes his eyes and let the gust like blow on him,
Ezra,
and just like,
I'm so sorry.
excellent work.
I like underneath my arm, using my new elemental attunement. It's probably not as much as a gust, but like I like push my hand and a little bit of air like puffs into
Just
your
like a
face.
little.
Yeah. And this is of course Opal, and this
Very
is
nice to meet you.
Mr. Thomas. You might have seen him. Traveled close to the city in the square.
Yes, you were doing the hunger strike, I believe.
I was, but Tyr has granted me the ability to eat food, and that's why we were on this mission.
Excellent. Well, you look well for
Thank
your
you.
strike. So, lovely to meet you all. But how can I help?
Of course, yes. Once again, I apologize for intrusion, but
You don't have to.
We were sent this. Opal, if you wouldn't mind.
Oh, yes.
This book was brought to my friend here via Raven, and it had this map on it, and the town. Which way? I know that I've heard stories, and I thought if anyone might have heard tales of this town, you.
Yes, there was no note sent with the Raven to say who may have sent it.
No notes. Just a book, and inside the book was the map.
I didn't realize we had this book. I must be one step behind the rest of the group.
Oh my god, I'm
must
so
be.
sorry. We just didn't tell you about.
Oh, I thought this was the first
You
step
want to
of
go
the
on
adventure.
adventure? Let's go.
I didn't realize we were on step 2 of the adventure.
Well, remember
but-
I asked you about that town, but I guess I didn't tell you why I asked you about that town.
Oh,
It's
okay.
because this book was found, and we. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we have opened the book, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Opal's
yeah.
flipped through it. You haven't really
Okay.
like spent the time to read it yet,
Yeah.
but you flipped through it.
Yeah, just making
you've
sure there was
noticed
nothing
that
like else there.
Yeah, there's no title, there's no like author. It's clearly not a published book, very much more journal-like,
Yeah.
and then had just the map shoved into the middle. I will say, Opal, one thing I didn't note is the map is very clearly a different handwriting than the book. So it does not look like the same author made both of these documents.
Can I, while we stand here, just sort of like flip through pages and just skim for any mention of a map?
Sure. We'll say Tierson kind of takes both from you if you hand him both, and then says, "Well, I don't recognize this book at all," and then spends a little bit more time with the map, and so you can spend some time flipping through. Go ahead and give me an intelligence check.
Natural one, you forget how to read.
Well, don't say that.
Dang
because
it!
That's gonna jinx
That'd
it.
be
no, I can't
the
read
worst.
Oh,
11.
rats!
Which I don't know how to spell.
With an 11, flipping through, you don't really notice anything really that jumps out to you about a map or even like treasure or any like kind of buzzwords that would come with someone talking about following a map. You do notice some just general traveling words. So clearly this person was traveling. Very clearly it is a journal that is documenting a point in someone's life. It seems to be a woman's perspective, with some quotes thrown in of quoting someone else, calling her she, her, and things like that. So you can notice that. And that's really all you notice just with that and a quick flip through of it. Seems like a journal, but not written about this map, it seems. Tierson, after looking over the map, well, I don't quite recognize everything, but Whichway was a farming town outside of Baldur's Gate that, well, I think roughly 50 years ago now, the residents, as the lore says, no one actually confirmed it, but it is an abandoned town now, and the residents themselves seem to have fled due to some monster or creature activity that forced them from their homes. I personally have not been there and don't truly know how to get there, but by this map, my guess is it seems somewhere south of Baldur's Gate, and clearly a stream branching off of the river, and that might be the best place to start if you are seeking Whichway.
Do you think we should follow the river until we can find the stream?
That would be what I would do if I was looking for Whichway, based on this map, but also hard to say how accurate this map is, since it is an illustration of these places.
That's more to go on than what we had, so thank you.
Yes.
What
thank
do you wish or hope to find at this?
If there is a monster
town?
there, we will slay it.
We're good at murder.
Just said no
We-
murder.
We're not.
but-
No,
No.
He kind of eyes you right on
That's not the right
knowing
word.
what had
That's not the right
happened,
word.
I'm sure,
Yeah.
and
Manslaughter,
having many
maybe.
discussions with you about how things could have probably gone differently.
Yes, of course.
So kind of eyes you when Ezra says that.
We're not okay. No, we just.
Well, we're bad at it. We got caught.
It feels, me personally, I don't know what the group's feelings are, but it feels like something has been having us work with the Candlekeep people. There is magic, there is cosmic influence that is pushing us together to the point where things like a raven bringing us a book seem somewhat commonplace. I just feel that wherever these random events and clues lead us, we should follow.
I
Well,
agree.
and if this is seemingly a treasure map, as this little poem at the bottom says, perhaps there's some treasure also waiting for you there.
It wouldn't hurt.
We didn't get paid for our last job.
Because of the
that
murder.
I've
Yes.
forsaken money
I did
in
not
my oath to my god.
murder anyone. I just want to keep bringing that up. I did have to unfortunately kill someone in an act of self-defense.
That is true.
Well, luckily, if there's just a monster in this, we can just kill the monster and then we don't have to worry about murder.
What deems a monster?
I'll know.
Consider me a monster? I look very different from you, Thomas.
After when you murdered someone last time, I don't know. The jury's out. Just kidding, Ryvar. You're not a monster. It wasn't murder.
I have. If a dragonborn could blush, he would blush for sure. Kirsten, I appreciate your help and guidance. And we should leave, friends.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, it was lovely once again to meet all of you. Don't forget to stock up for any journey. It's the best journey when you're prepared, so.
I will, of course, touch base when.
Please do.
All right. So, we should go to store, right?
What
Are
do we
we-
want to buy?
Are we in
Question.
his home right now, or are we outside?
I expected us to just be kind of staying in the doorway.
Okay.
Unless
At a
he-
certain
yeah.
point in the conversation, could I have snuck away very inconspicuously and placed the newest issue of my comic that I've been drawing on his bookshelf, or like in his like mail slot, or
Yeah, I was
On
gonna
the
say,
coffee
since
table?
he's likely standing in the doorway,
Mm.
to not quite welcome you all in as you got right to business and uh and
Yeah, we did.
being strangers at first and then just straight into business and talking, you stayed outside. But I would say while they're talking, and especially while he's looking at the map, you wouldn't have been able to sneak by him into his house, but
Mhm.
clearly a little drop slot for mail next
Mhm.
to the front door, you could kind of just skirt around people and drop it in.
Yeah. Yeah, he's gonna be really proud because on the front cover of this one is just a super jacked Ryvar with like jackal wares hanging off of his hands and arms,
Nice.
and like
Yes.
some of them in the back with like X's on their eyes.
Oh my
It'll be
god!
really good for our reputation.
Amazing. I love it. Okay, so he again thanks you all and closes his door. Generally I will say, because it's been several months, whatever normal supplies you would have, you can easily go home and pick up. If there's anything special you probably wouldn't keep stock of, like if you wouldn't keep a health potion and you want to buy one of those or something like that, though I feel like you would have those basics with you and ready to go, knowing that you've gotten these adventures and may come into trouble if maybe the Amber Dune pack wanted to attack you again. Things like that, I think you would maybe be a little bit more stocked up. But you are also welcome to shop for anything, knowing where you're going and things like that. Yes,
I
Andy?
would just try to buy one health potion, or have one health potion already, and I can just mark down the gold.
Sure.
Would that be? Is that 50?
Yeah, I would say it's pretty standard price at Baldur's Gate. They don't jack up the prices too much.
And then, I also would try to buy a map, if I could, of the like southern area of Baldur's Gate, like just the wilderness down there, just to see if anybody,
Okay.
just to see if there any a map of like that exists.
I would say you could buy a map if you want to,
Mm-hmm.
or Opal would definitely know where books of maps are within the Temple of Agma and could either perhaps check one out now that she is of better standing with them, or at least copy it down to take with you as just, instead of a whole book, a page or two.
Yeah, I would definitely mention the map out loud. So
Yeah, I would have, the temple was probably expecting me to come and stay for a while. So I would want to check back into the temple anyway. And if you had mentioned that, I would just bring you with me.
Great. So you're easily enough able to find a map, and I'll show you kind of the full map of the Sword Coast. Come on now. So this is like the full map. If you zoom in almost right in
Whoa.
the center, you can find Baldur's Gate.
Oh my gosh.
And then just south of that is Candlekeep right here.
Oh god, it's so big.
Baldur's Gate
Where?
is right here.
Oh wow, yeah. This is...
Oh wow.
Do it
okay.
again. Oh whoa.
So seeing this, you assume that Thane is probably up here in the Fields of the Dead,
Yeah.
which are not a scary place. That's just what they're called. And camping somewhere in the fields. You know that the river that you see going through Baldur's Gate and continuing east is likely the river that Tierson said of following that and then finding, a branch off of it that starts to head south. That probably will head to which way. And then you are, I think, all aware of the Wood of Sharp Teeth, which you don't have to go through, but you generally see in the distance because it is a fairly large section of woods that is on the way to Candlekeep, going down Coast Way. So these general areas around Baldur's Gate, most of you are familiar with. But I will say, even with some more detailed maps of what's south of Baldur's Gate, none of the other landmarks you find. You find maybe a very old map that says which way from 50 plus years ago, but you don't see any other landmarks from this map that call out to you as similar or similarly named.
Yeah, I think I would just try to plan what, as close as I could, our route would be to which way.
Okay. Mr. Thomas or Ezra, is there anything you guys want to do before we head out?
Yes. I think part of my subset task of working at the funeral arrangements parlor is that I have had a collection of just discarded personal items
Oh no.
from some of the patrons of this establishment. I didn't steal them.
Mm-hmm.
They were left there in all of the sadness and melancholy. And so I'm wondering, JMO, if there is any way... I'm looking at, like, magic items, and I don't really... There's a lot, obviously, but I'm wondering if there is anything that could be in this assorted little plot of gifts that someone might have left in their bereaved state that I could take with us. I can find like a magic items generator or something.
I already have one open,
What?
just, in case.
How did
So
I know?
go ahead and give me a D100.
Both of them?
The rare D100 roll. I love it.
65.
Okay, hold on. Let's see. Okay.
Get a deck of many things.
Can you imagine?
Ezra would die.
Pull every card until she died.
She just flips all of them over at the same time.
Just dumps the box out.
You would come out net negative if you just dumped the whole box out.
I'd have so many wishes.
Roll a D6 now for me.
Oh gosh.
Oh no, a secondary
4.
roll. Oh gosh, we're on subtables.
Okay. You have something called the Oil of Sharpness. I don't even know what that is.
Ooh, let's see. Oil of sharpness. Do you want me to read it?
He gives
Sure.
you like an extra D4 to...
Lavender.
This clear gelatinous oil sparkles with tiny, ultra-thin silver shards. The oil can coat one slashing or piercing weapon or up to 5 pieces of slashing or piercing ammunition. Applying the oil takes 1 minute. For 1 hour, the coated item is magical and has a +3 bonus to attack or damage rolls.
Oh
you go.
my gosh, great! That's a
Nice.
great item.
Wow.
And doesn't Ezra have a little dagger that she runs around with, like a?
I have a
freak?
dagger and I have like,
Like a
I have two. I have double daggers technically,
I just
Um,
Ezra's just this little girl that's like.
but I also have. Oh no, it's bludgeoning. So
In a lot of
I
our
was gonna
fights, I
say-
feel like she's dagger.
well, because I only have like 4
No,
spell
for
slots.
sure. I love it about you.
I mean, I am a valiant paladin wielding a longsword, but
Yes.
just apropos. of
So
that.
yeah, I would go into my
Same.
little stash and like pick that because I've
Okay.
been saving it for a rainy day.
Perfect. Great. All
And then
right.
we-
Yeah.
I,
If nothing else.
I do.
Yeah.
Before I leave, I go to the Church of Tyr and I find a statue of the god Tyr. He was a lawful good god, just like a guy. Just a
Guy.
statue of a guy.
Guy.
And I
Ooh.
bow my head in prayer.
It's like the
And yeah, exactly, yeah. And I say, Tyr, I'm sorry that I screwed up so much. Please tell me how close I am to being knighted. Please allow me the ability to summon a horse. Amen. And I just grab a bunch of holy symbols and like pamphlets and trinkets, and I can just like leave. I'm
All
trying to
the
convert rich ways.
acolytes at Tyr's temple have like they either love you or they hate you. Some of them love you for like you are putting in the effort. You seem like you're trying. Yeah, they can kind of tell you didn't really hunger strike, but like it's the thought that counts. And, like, you're here, you're trying. The rest of them just have kind of gotten annoyed with how much you've been trying, but like again, it's been trying, but the hunger strike, you clearly didn't hunger strike. Like you look fine after not eating for weeks. You are doing the community service, but it was always odd community service, and like it helped people, but like
You
there's more
cleaned
you
out the
could have been
stables
doing.
a lot.
Exactly.
Before I
So-
leave the temple, I go up to like the main like sermon speaking area so that I can command some attention of the people that are just milling about.
Jeez,
Mhm,
Pete.
Fellow brothers, I am off on an adventure to slay an evil being. I just want you to know that I and Tyr love you equally, and this time no one in my party will murder anyone. Amen.
There's a couple of women that are kind of like, brothers, what the fuck? This guy's an asshole. And there's a like one guy again that's on your side that's like, yeah.
Accidental
Told master.
sexism.
And then there's 2 other guys that just didn't even listen to you.
How great.
All right,
Ah,
God.
Tyr.
I walk out confidently, meet up with the
Okay.
group.
Great. So you start heading out of the southernmost gate of Baldur's Gate. So let's go back to Baldur's Gate.
We're leaving.
How's that?
I'm excited.
Super zoomed in now. So you head all the way out to the outer city and south through Rivington to be on the southern side of this river and start heading east.
Yep.
There isn't exactly. There's a trail that heads east, but it's not like following the river. So if you want to make sure you don't miss, I mean, you probably will hit the river no matter how far away you start traveling to the south of the river, but there is a chance that it could skirt way far away and then you could miss it. Who knows? It could skirt. So how do you follow the river kind of just off to the side of the bank and not necessarily on a trail, or do you stick to a road and continue that way? For the most part, it's not like walking through a forest. You have pretty clear field of vision through just some hills and things, so it's not like
Yeah, I
You're-
personally would vote for just staying within eyesight of the river.
Yeah, for sure.
I
Yeah.
agree.
It's like just traveling east, but staying within eyesight of the river.
great.
I'd be into that.
All right. So, once you guys start traveling, who is with the maps leading the way and trying to make sure you stay on track?
I
Sure.
will. Oh,
Oh,
No, you can take
Oh.
it.
Rock, paper, scissors.
You wanna fight over it?
I have a bad perception.
No, you can take it. You can take it.
Okay.
The Raven chose you anyway.
And
plus
so,
three.
and I will say this will be a survival, so this is less like
No survival.
perception. It is more survival of
I have a
like
plus
under
three.
keeping
Same.
in mind the map versus the terrain you're walking on.
I have a +4.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I have the worst survival. So
15.
Okay. With 15, since currently you're just following the river, it's pretty dang easy to keep that in your sight. Knowing that probably best to not travel at night. For this first day, you pretty confidently can say that you've, stayed with the river because you can still see it. You're keeping it within eyesight, even when you have to maybe go around a hill instead of wanting to go up and over it. You're able to stay just south and still in eyesight of this river. I would like one of you to give me a D10 roll.
I'll do it.
Dibs.
Oh yeah, no, she said dips
I-
before me.
Yep, I heard
A
it.
D10.
D10.
I just love rolling 10
Do it.
dice.
Please.
8.
Oh, I got a 2.
Someone's
Okay.
like being shot at outside of our apartment.
Oh,
Oh.
that's fun.
Pretty sure it's fireworks.
With a 2, you guys travel this first day and make pretty good time, keeping aware of the river. And speaking of, it's kind
River
of a
noises?
prettier little view for everybody. We're traveling along a river.
Oh. Look at that
Oh.
horse.
It's pretty.
Oh.
Another good question. Speaking of horses, are you guys on foot or have you picked up some horses as well?
But horses.
I unfortunately want to travel on foot, and I don't think we're gonna be allowed to.
Horses.
Yeah, I mean, I
I'll
would
share a horse
probably,
with Ryvar.
Yeah, I'm fine with
I would probably get a horse, but be on my feet pretty often.
Okay. So your horse is more of carrying kind of your gear and stuff.
Yeah, and I've got like my feline agility trait, so I'm every now and then like sprinting up in front of the group.
Gotcha. Cool. So
as
yeah.
as we're riding, I'm just constantly whispering into my horse's ears.
Great.
You
Not
whisper.
weird at all.
You can't hear it.
it. You don't know that.
You wouldn't know.
I rolled a natural 1. How amazing!
Yeah. Nope. You don't hear it. You just see him kind of leaning down
Yeah,
towards his horse.
with a natural 1.
a
I'm
lot.
convinced he's talking to his horse about me.
Oh.
Convinced.
I'm like leaning down and then keep coming back up, but I'm giggling a little bit.
Oh my god.
So you travel a full day, and get to evening. The sun is starting to go down. You know that you are needing to make camp soon. Do you go just kind of plop where you are and make camp? Do you go
We should make
away
camp.
from the river, closer to the river?
We should camp by
What
the
do you think?
riverbed so that we have the river close to our backs. That way we only have to be worried about danger from one direction.
Very smart.
There's 5 of them though.
I knew it! I just knew as soon as I said one direction. I knew it. Well, you know,
Classic.
I was I
Classic.
was a soldier in the army. I do remember some tactics.
I'm okay with that. I'll help. I don't want any danger. And Ezra, you can notice, is like very much more nervous and like out of her element than she has been in the city at being like outside of the city.
Yeah. Because you probably haven't spent much time like outside of the city. I mean, yeah, we've traveled a little bit, but like since you were like wandering, right?
Yeah, and this is the direction I think that I would have come through, right, to get into the gate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, so little bit of memories popping up, but not really memories, just feelings. No memories.
Sorry, I don't mean to commandeer the group. If anyone else thinks we should not camp by the riverbed, I will gladly.
No,
Yeah.
as long as I can be the furthest from the water.
I'll be the closest to the water.
And then I would just start help camp. One of the cool things that I can do with my new elemental attunement is I can chill or warm a pound of non-living material for up to an hour, or create elements within a 1 foot cube for a minute. So I think that I would like put some sticks on the ground, and because I'm a dragonborn, I mean I'm doing it with my Wave of the Four Elements feature,
Sure.
but because I'm a dragonborn, I like to imagine that I just kind of like puff out a little fireball and the fire lights up, and then I take a pot and I take some water from the river and I put it on the fire, and I like use my monk ability to like get it to warm so that the boil happen faster.
It's boiling.
Aw.
Have some water and some tea, and yeah, that's what I'll do.
Okay. You do have rations that you would have had. You could also go fishing if you would like to try that. You can see if you can set some traps for food later. Kind of a plethora of options for food if you so choose to do.
Ezra, do you want me to teach you how to fish?
Yeah, that sounds nice.
I can teach you how to fish with spear. That's the only way I know how to fish.
Yes, that is the way I want to do it.
Okay, cool. Come, let's do it.
Both of you give me survival checks. See how successful with fishing you are.
19.
If I'm proficient, do I get, or is it just expert? Is when you get advantage?
I think X. It's
Expert
just
is just you
double.
double your proficiency.
Yeah,
Oh, but proficiency is just.
you get proficiency.
Get your proficiency.
Ah! 11.
Okay. Ryvar, you have practiced this many a time. You're already adept with your spear as a weapon in general. This river is quite wide,
Okay.
so you wade out until probably Ryvar, you're only about waist or hip deep, because that's then closer to like chest deep for Ezra.
Yeah.
And you don't want to get too deep.
Yeah.
But you teach her how you fish. Of you wait out there, you wait until the fish forget you're there as they're kind of flowing by, because it is a steadily running, well, opposite direction coming from the ocean and in, running out into the world. And Ryvar, you're able to catch a decently sized fish. Actually, probably 2 of them with that high of a roll. Ezra, you get like one of those just like classic little tiny fishes. And so you're successful at least to like have caught a fish, but that's the only fish you catch, and it's pretty tiny.
Ugh.
When I catch the fish, I've speared the fish, and then I take it out and it's like flopping, and I take my claws and just kind of like give the head a squeeze so that it just goes out. And then I take the fish off the spear, throw it back behind me so it lands on the ground. So you have to aim where the fish is going to be. See, the water is tricking your eyes. The fish is not where you actually see it.
Oh. And I go to try to do the spear, and with my other hand, I just cast Ice Knife on the fish.
Ezra, I felt the chill. I saw that. I know what you just did.
Did I get a fish, though?
Give me an attack roll to see if that's how you catch the one tiny fish.
Oh, that's how I would catch the one tiny fish? I'll do it still, I don't care. That is a 16. That has to be.
I was gonna say, I'm trying to like find, wow, they even had like knucklehead trout and very specific.
Do that one.
But then the ice knife explodes, so there's just chunks of fish in the water.
Yeah, I will say, so using the spear, you just kind of ice knife it, and you get one with the ice knife, and then it explodes, and it was like a tiny little school of fish. So you like almost have this like frozen cube of like the 5-foot cube of like frozen in the water, where like several tiny fish are now like frozen and like floating away, but currently frozen and swimming slower than they would have if they weren't frozen.
I would really proudly scoop up the block
Yeah.
and like heave it to the.
I walk to the service with her. Ezra, if you do everything the easy way, you're not going to learn anything.
Yeah.
Hey, there's another reason why I wanted to bring you out here. And away from the others.
Yeah.
I don't trust Opal. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I don't trust her either.
What? Oh, you're joking.
Oh.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, we do trust her.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can trust her.
If you didn't trust her, though, I wouldn't trust her.
A bit. You need to have a bit of your own, but I appreciate you taking mine into consideration.
Well, I trust Opal.
I do too. Are you okay?
What do you mean?
Well, I have a passive insight of 15. I can't help it. Just that you've been a little off today.
Well, I guess it's just been a while since I have been out of the gates this far, and really this way ever since I got to Baldur's Gate. I have not been over here. And I feel anxious, but I don't know why, and that's never really happened to me before, I don't think.
It's called anxiety. It will just
I hate it.
happen. Yeah.
It's stupid.
It's not fun.
I only feel like this if something's attacking me, but nothing's attacking me.
It's something is attacking you. But unfortunately, it is your own brain.
That's bullshit.
I know, but everyone goes through it. You're not alone. I have a lot of anxiety as well. I felt a lot of anxiety this afternoon when all of you met Tierson.
Is he your boyfriend?
Oh, gosh, it's hard to explain because I was a man when he met me, but Tierson is kind of like a
You
father
are a
to
what?
me. A man?
You're not a man now?
No, I'm saying I was of age when he met me. I was not a young child, but
Oh.
it still feels as if he is a father figure.
Okay.
He met me at a very vulnerable low point in life and helped me
Oh.
realize my potential.
Was it when you had anxiety?
Yes, definitely. And what helped is when he finally made me talk about it. And so that doesn't have to happen to you right away. And also, it might not feel like you are bullshitting because your own brain is using you and telling you things. But if there ever is something that you know you could talk about, afraid to talk about those things.
That's really nice.
You're really nice. Good kid, Ezra.
Well, Ryvar, I think the thing that's scariest right now is that I don't know. And I don't remember anything.
Can't imagine what that feels like, and sorry that that's happening to you. But a turtle once told me that past history, future history, but today is a gift. That is why they call it the present.
Oh.
I thought so too. Oh gosh.
I have to run! I have to go! I have to just run!
Okay,
and
run
I
it
just
down.
start
Take a
running.
lap.
I'll just start running like up and down the bank of the
Yeah,
river.
I think Ryver just chuckles and heads back to the part of the camp and starts
Yeah.
cooking and cleaning the fish.
Yeah, the two fish that you got, Ryvar, have some decently sized fillets
Cool.
that you can get out of them. The kind of multiple fish that Ezra got was a like tiny school of tiny fish.
Yeah.
It's like almost the classic, like almost little bluegills that you find in a lot of neighborhood lakes.
Yeah.
But like you do your best because you want to like make sure that these are used for the meal.
Yeah.
But like you can like scrape
I
off like
probably-
3 bites.
Yeah, exactly. I probably like use the whole cube and drop it in the pot and make that and the smaller fish like a broth that I then stew
Perfect.
the
Great.
actual
Yeah.
fillets in.
Yeah. So you all have a lovely fish dinner by the lake. Do you all go to sleep, or do you take watches?
Close to the city, we might be okay, but
I'll take a watch.
Yeah, I'll take a watch as well.
I'll do the last watch. I've been up early anyway. I'm used to it.
Yeah,
hey,
okay.
I'll sleep.
I'll take the first watch.
Okay. As you all go to sleep, and Mr. Thomas, go ahead and give me a perception check.
All right, I'm brushing Cinnamon's hair as I watch.
Makes sense.
So do it at disadvantage.
Ooh, 5.
Okay. Your watch completes, and you don't notice anything.
Nice.
Sweet.
Opal, go ahead and give me a perception check when you do your shift change.
Ooh, that's a nat 1.
Oh gosh.
So you also don't notice anything during your watch. Seems
Great,
uneventful. You wake Ezra up, so you can get your last 3 hours, and Ezra, you
Come on,
wake
Ezra.
up in the wee hours of the morning. Go ahead and give me a perception check.
Someone's got to
I didn't have
notice
any
something.
beer last night. I feel great.
Having some withdrawals.
It's a perception, you said.
Mhm.
Ooh, I got an 18.
Hey.
Okay. With an 18, the sun is like just starting to rise at the very end of your shift, to give a little bit more light into your surroundings. And you notice as the sun is rising in a tree, just probably a good still 20 to 30 feet away. There's sparse trees throughout this area. It's not a forest by any means, but there's occasional little groups of trees. In one of those trees, you notice a raven
Oh no.
that's currently staring at you.
I'll wave at it.
Its head kind of turns again.
I turn my head with it.
It turns it back.
Turn my head back.
And it does this repeatedly for as long as you do. The bird just continues looking at you and turns its head as you do, but it doesn't move.
Can I
It doesn't really
squawk
make a
at it?
sound. Sure.
Like a raven sound?
Yeah. Do you like full lung squawk, or do you just kind of give a little squawk enough for it to hear?
Maybe I would stand up and go a little closer
Okay.
to it and do so that way I'm not like in the camp and squawking.
Mm-hmm. So you walk probably another 10 feet. So it's now 10 feet to 15 feet away from you up in the tree, and kind of scuttle over and give a little rat. And it cocks its head even more at you and gives like a couple clicks of its beak, but doesn't give a caw.
Mm-hmm. I'll like chomp my teeth at it to like make the sound back.
He is Ezra's feral.
It like kind of like shakes and ruffles its feathers and poofs a little bit before shaking and letting them go back down, and then cocks its head at you.
You're being really boring.
Just turns its head again.
Really
Suddenly, it's apparent.
I'll go and I'll turn around and go back to my post.
As you turn around and go back to your post, it lets out a loud caw and takes flight and flies away.
I'll turn around and be like, "Oh, now?" And then go back to my post and be generally uneasy.
Okay. Since the sun was rising, it's not
General
too
Lee
long.
Uneasy?
Generally.
General Lee Uneasy?
Leo?
Since the sun was rising, it's not that long until it's fully risen and the rest of your group starts to stir for the morning and wake up and get ready for the day. And as you all get on your horses or start leading your horses away, if you so choose not to ride them just yet, we're going to take a break and pick up at the top of day 2 of travel.
Day
Hey.
2. How many days was it going to take?
You don't know.
Okay, cool.
Alright, we'll be right back.
Bye. What do you do?
Welcome back. All right, we're gonna jump right in with the top of day 2 of travel. Again, with the maps and everything, you don't quite know how long it might take, but you know that it's not something you have come across before, so at least probably 2 days, maybe 3 of travel until you get to the stream that will be jutting south off of this river, and then again an unknown amount of time before you maybe get to which way. So at the top of day 2 of travel, I need 2 people to roll a d10.
I'm
I'll
first.
roll one.
Okay. Zach and Matt.
I rolled a 2.
Reroll. Angie rolled
Okay.
a 2.
Okay.
No rerolls in my house.
I rolled an 8.
Okay. Zach?
5.
Okay. As you pack up and start heading, continuing east, you pretty early in the day see some shapes along the riverbed up ahead, and they're in closer to the river than you guys are. You see, it's hard to distinguish exactly how many right now, but definitely more than a few shapes currently just on the riverbed.
How far away are they? Do we know?
Right now, they're probably still a good, 50 to 60 feet away.
Do they look like humanoids, or we not even tell that?
Give me a perception check.
15.
With a 15, you can tell that they look shorter and wider than kind of your classic humanoid shape. Might be a stout, shorter humanoid, maybe, but definitely shorter than at least the taller members of your party.
Perhaps if we just stop right now, see if the shapes continue on. If the shapes don't continue on, then we...
Yeah, but I've noticed that they're short, so we can take them.
Would we murder them?
No.
But not murder anyone.
No murder, right?
Yeah.
Didn't we say no murder?
Yes. No
But will
murder.
we kill them?
Yes, we will
Perhaps.
slaughter them.
Okay.
As you pause and wait several minutes, you notice that the shapes are moving about slightly, but staying in the general area they are in.
But before that, they were like following us for a number of miles.
No, you
Oh.
noticed them in the distance, and as you continued working, they formed into shapes, and they've stayed generally in the same spot.
Oh.
And they are ahead of you,
Let's just go
still
up
to
them.
the east.
Yeah, let's just see what
Yeah.
they are. I'm curious.
Yeah, we're just chilling.
I
As
get
you
one
continue-
of my daggers out.
To walk up, eventually you see 5 giant crabs just hanging out on the riverbank.
Aw, that looks good. We should
A couple
get
of
those,
them are
Ryvar.
in the water. Looks like they're trying to catch some fish to eat. There's they're roughly the same size, definitely giant crabs, you can tell, but just hanging about, doing their business.
I
Are
don't
there
know
any
if-
big ass clams?
Not that you see right now, but maybe they're in the water.
I don't know if. I think if we attack one, Ezra, his friends will get upset, and it might. It feels a little bad. on
Well,
that
we just
area.
kill them all, and then we have so much crab. And I can ice knife it, and then it'll be chilled.
Then you'll carry a block of ice.
I've done worse.
I think I'm gonna skirt around it. Cinnamon's getting antsy. Hiya!
I think crab sounds great, but if we kill one of them, then we have, 4 more to deal with?
I think we should follow.
As Mr. Thomas and Cinnamon take off with a big hi-ya and likely a whinny from Cinnamon. You're close enough now that the crabs kind of notice you're present, and a couple of them that are closer to you kind of, scuttle around and lift their claws, and they're like kind of watching at the ready to
Be
see
gone.
if you approach. They aren't attacking. They're just now aware of your presence
Yes,
and on
we're
the
pissing
defense.
them off. We should just go follow Mr. Thomas.
I agree.
Ezra.
Okay.
Oh, Mr.
Okay. You all continue along your path. Go ahead and Opal, give me a survival check. Make sure you stay within eyesight.
Is that just one of the D10? Stop talking.
So that's a nat 1.
Emily.
Is that bad?
Okay. As you guys are watching these crabs and kind of like going by them, making sure that they're not, gonna come after you, and it's not spooking the horses. Emily, your Opal, gets a little distracted. And as you kind of continue forward, you notice a big hill and decide to take the way around it, away from the river. And so you take it, and you start going, and this hill turns out to be longer than you expected. And after a good 5 to 10 minutes, you're going and going and going, and you feel like you should have been able to take a left and get back to the river and see the river, and you just can't quite take a left as quickly as you thought. And then when you can, you take a left, expect to see the river, it's not there. And you're a little turned around now and not quite sure which direction the river is to where you are right now.
I'm gonna just like listen really hard and see if I can hear the river.
Okay, go ahead and give me a perception check.
Oh, come on. 25.
Whoa.
With a 25, good God. I will say, since it's a big river, like you have to be pretty far away from it, and you're not on a main road, there's not a lot of hustle and bustle, anything like that. You just like shush everyone and just say, everyone shush, and it all falls quiet, and you just hear the faintest gurgling of water across some rocks and rushing of water in the distance, and realize you're not that far off, but where you should have maybe turned left, you turned left, you somehow should have turned right, and you like circled this mountain, but there was another hill that was like almost blocking the direction, so you just kind of went in a quick circle, and then you got your bearings and you're able to go around another hill and find your way back to the river.
But after I shush everybody, try to really like play it off and say, oh, I just thought I heard something, in case, I don't know, somebody hasn't noticed that we're lost.
Okay.
I've
Does
heard
anyone question that?
it. No.
Absolutely not.
Great.
Great.
So yeah, everyone's like, oh.
You got away with it.
I don't trust Opal.
I do like. I think Rever's probably thinking to himself, "We stay with an eyesight."
But she confidently leads you back to eyesight of the river. So without question, you're just like, oh, okay, we just took a little detour around the hill. That's fine. As you continue throughout the day, not much happens. You take a little break at lunch and rest, give the horses some water, things of that nature. We'll say it's the opposite of what I said before, and fresh water is streaming into the ocean, so you can easily get water to the horses. It's not salt water from the ocean coming into the main land. So it's a freshwater stream. You can get water, take a break, and continue on your way. Late afternoon, you ahead of you see in the middle of the river a boat that looks like a smaller boat with two humanoids sitting in it, just
Oh.
in the middle of the river.
Perhaps they know if the stream is coming up or how close we are. Maybe we can ask.
Yeah, let's flag them down.
Idea?
Hey there, kind travelers.
As you get close enough to start calling out to them, because this was noticing them at a distance, so if you continue to approach, you notice it's two humans in this almost canoe. It's a very small boat. They have a couple fishing rods, and all of you have even passive perception high enough to know as you approach, these two men are drunk as a skunk. They are weeble wobbling in the canoe. They are almost toppling it as they try to catch a fish, but there's nothing on the line, and they're just laughing and having like the time of their lives in this canoe, just attempting to fish while also just getting absolutely wasted. As you approach and say and call out to them, the The canoe is kind of positioned perpendicular to the stream right now and is kind of flowing down that way. They're both facing into the canoe, so one that's already facing to you kind of looks up and leans a little bit. The other one just fully stands up and turns in the canoe and is like, "Who's there?" As he does, they both lean to the same side and tip the canoe just enough that the one that stood up falls into the river.
I sprint after them and jump in the water.
Jump into the water.
You jump into the water, and the one that's staying on the canoe is laughing his ass off. He thought that was the funniest thing he ever saw. He just saw his friend fall in. He thinks it's hilarious. As you run, because you're probably still a good, we'll say 20 to 30 feet away to like be close enough that you can shout to them, but not like so far that you're truly shouting into the distance. So it takes you a couple seconds to get there. As you get there, get into the water. Like I said, this is a pretty wide stream, and they're in the middle of it to try to catch some of the deeper dwelling fish. And so far, the other guy has not come up. He is underwater somewhere.
I'm diving down in there to grab him.
Same, yeah, I'm right. And I
so
do have a
both
speed
of you...
of 40, so...
So Ryvar, you get in there first, and go ahead and give me a just a perception check underwater to see if you can spot this guy.
17.
With the 17, like I said, the river is flowing, and being drunk, he fell and just kind of let himself go with the motion of the ocean kind of thing.
Yeah.
So he's a good probably now 10-15 feet downstream of the canoe, and just like clearly disoriented. He doesn't know which way is up. He's swimming down and then hitting the like bank of the a rock, and just like very much disoriented, doesn't know which way is up, and panic is starting to set in to this drunken man. The stream is about, let's say 20 feet, and at the very middle of it, it's probably got a good also 20 feet depth, and the stream like curves pretty significantly the farther in you get. And so currently he's basically at the bottom of that, kind of floating between 15 to 20 feet under. And now if you dove in heading towards him, he's probably about to where you would be entering the water, thankfully.
Okay.
Downstream, but still a good 10 feet away from you, at least.
If he's 10 feet away from me, I wonder if this would work. Sorry.
No worries.
So, something it says about my elemental attunement is that I can briefly control elemental forces within 30 feet of you.
Mm-hmm.
And one of those options is create elements in a 1-foot cube for 1 minute.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering, and I'm new to this, so I'm not going to ask you if it's going to work. I think he would just try it and learn this about his ability.
Okay.
There's two options. I could either, I'm going to roll for it. Okay, even. So he is going to, like, he's actively still swimming after the guy. But I think also if he's on the bottom, I think that I would try to like focus my key and like put my hands to my chest, and then like put them outwards underwater and see if I can create a cube of ice around one of his arms that could then like hopefully take him up to the surface. I don't know. It's just something that I'm trying.
Okay. I would say since it has a solid perch and you're creating around his arm, the ice would attach to his arm without too much issue. I don't think a cube of ice is enough to float a full human man.
Yeah.
I don't know for sure. That's just my guess.
For sure. Yeah.
But I would say that like with his flailing, his arm definitely goes up, and he kind of is like even more confused.
I'm sure.
And
at the very least, it like hopefully straightens him up, or like I don't know.
I'll save him.
Yeah.
I think it with his drunkenness, he doesn't quite understand that floating means that way is up,
Oh,
but it's
no.
enough to kind of like calm him for a second as he's like now bewildered of this ice that just like came on his arm of just
Okay.
like, and so now he's not struggling and flailing, but he's definitely now just like floating like this,
Yeah.
still like maybe a little higher in the river, but floating away.
Yeah, I think
With
what
his
is
arm
perfect narratively is that I like kind of slowed myself down to do that, and then that happened, and I'm like kind of like second guessing what I'm doing, and then as I'm doing that, Sir Thomas or Mr. Thomas just goes past me.
Yeah. And with Mr. Thomas, you're like diving in since yes, he paused. You can like you're diving in as that's created basically, and so he's still moving away from you, but you can continue swimming and pretty easily gets to him at this point.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab him and fireman carry him out of the water onto shore in whatever way I can.
Okay. I would say with your armor, you basically firemen carry him at the bottom of the ocean almost.
You're
It's-
holding him down
it's hard.
underwater, but saving him.
Because it's hard for you and another person and your armor to have enough strength
Oh
to
my
like
God, the
really
armor.
get out.
Yes, my
Um,
chainmail is 55 pounds.
Yeah. So, but I think you're smart enough to know that you're not just gonna try to kick your way out straight up. So you would kind of use
up
the
the
ground
bank.
to your advantage, go up the bank. So Opal and Ezra, you see Ryvar dive into the river and kind of go beneath its depths, soon followed by Mr. Thomas. And then a couple of those like tense seconds, all the while this other dude is cackling his ass off. He has no idea of the danger of the situation. He's just laughing.
Speaking
He thinks it's
of, I
hilarious.
think I would, while he's taking him back to shore, I think I would like continue to stay in the middle and come up and wait for the canoe to come to me so I can like hop on the canoe and hopefully row him to, or at least help
Okay,
him row
so
to
you would
shore.
just kind of go straight up and wait for the canoe, or you would go straight to the canoe?
Go up. Well, I mean, I would head to the canoe, but I'm not really trying very hard since he's probably heading towards me too. But like I would. Like,
Yeah,
swim
you-
towards
yeah,
him.
okay.
Yeah.
Then
Like when you're waiting to get picked up from the speedboat after you fell off from tubing, and it's like, yeah, you
Yeah, you
start
just kinda-
swimming towards it, but like you're not really doing anything.
Sure. Easily enough you can do that, and the canoe meets you, and you hear and see this guy cackling.
Okay.
Ezra and Opal, you see almost like in the movies of Sir Thomas while like cradling this man just like walks out of the ocean like
Oh my
freaking
God.
Godzilla or something.
Clear
It is,
space.
Godzilla.
Armor gushing or water gushing out of his armor as he puts down this thankfully that was a quick reaction enough that I don't think he was full drowning yet, but he's definitely coughing up water, struggling to breathe,
I'm doing
struggling to
CPR.
right
I like
himself.
to imagine that sound like, you know, when your shoes are wet, it's like, like he's like as he's walking.
As this man
I put him down on shore and then start doing CPR.
as this man is coughing up water, Mr. Thomas does mouth to mouth unnecessarily and
Oh man, is he
starts
into it though?
blowing. He's not resisting right now, but
Yeah, no, he's not.
and then Ryvar, you're at the canoe, seeing now that his friend is out and he sees you in the water. He's like wiping tears from his face and he's like, "Oh shit, those."
Permission to come aboard, friend?
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm gonna try to get up in the canoe without tipping it.
Give me a dexterity check.
Natural 18 plus 4, 22. Oh, sorry, that's a
Okay.
10 plus 4, 14.
14.
Unless it's acrobatics and I can use my proficiency bonus.
I'll give you acrobatics for that too.
Nice.
Yeah.
16.
I would say that you're agile enough to kind of know to like keep kicking your feet so you can kind of roll onto the boat without
Keep the momentum
capsizing it.
going, yeah.
And as you kind of flop onto the canoe, which with your size is hard enough
Yeah.
because it is just kind of a two-person little canoe, and as you're like struggling to keep balance and right yourself on the canoe, this guy's just like, "Oh, what's up, man?
Hi, hello, my name's
Yeah.
Ryvar. What's your name?
Nice to meet you. I'm Chet."
Chet, nice to meet you. Chet, how about we go road to shore and get your friend back?
Yeah, I'd love to. I don't have any oars.
What? How were you guys
I
out
don't
here?
know where they went.
Oh, Lord. Okay, I jump in the water and I just hold on to the front of the canoe and I very slowly, I'm sure, like just start taking it to the shore.
Yeah, all the time Chet's like, yeah, right, boss. Oh.
You could get out and help, that's fine.
What?
Nothing, nope,
You want me
you're
to
good.
jump out? Okay.
No, I
And
don't,
he
please.
stands up and jumps out of the boat.
Does he swim?
Since he jumped, he's a little bit more buoyant and right, but he like kind of tries to stop himself, and as the boat like kind of comes and like clonks him on the head, not like knocking him out, but he's not exactly
Just grab
doing
grab the
well.
boat. Just grab the boat.
Okay.
Okay, you're helping. Thank you. Just kick your legs.
Okay. And he like straight up kicks his legs, just like
he's
treading
just like-
water
yeah.
as you're
Oh
pulling.
my God, he's drunk
him to
and
the
an idiot.
shore.
I use 5 lay on hands to neutralize the alcohol from this guy's system that I just saved.
Oh, shit.
Okay. As you do that, he goes, "Whoa."
All right.
What
Do you
happened?
know it's a violation to operate a water vehicle while inebriated?
No.
So you got 2 options. Either you come with me to jail,
No.
or you pay your fine, 10 gold pieces.
I don't know if we have that much gold. I mean, technically we weren't operating it because we don't have our oars anymore, so it was more like we were just floating.
How long have you been floating?
Like a couple hours, probably. Enough to finish the bottle of rum we had.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna let you off with a warning this time.
Cool.
And
You're really cool, man. Thanks.
I'm just like stooped over him. I just want you to know that what you did could have killed you tonight, and I want you to live with that thought for the rest of your life.
Yeah, man. I realize that now. Thanks for the assist there.
Now that you're sober, go help your friend.
Oh yeah, Chet, and he like runs to the side and helps you Ryvar get the boat in and brings Chet in. Oh man, Chet, you okay? That was crazy. And Chet just starts laughing again.
I go over to Chet and I put my hand on his shoulder and I use 5 points of land hands.
Whoa.
Okay, now that you're both sober, I assume that you can get yourself back to town.
Yeah, I mean, we just gotta follow the stream the opposite way we were floating. I don't know how we're
Yes.
gonna get our canoe back. That's kind of a bummer.
I brought the canoe. It's right here. I brought the canoe to the shore.
Yeah, but like, do we have to carry that all the way back?
Oh, how do you get it back to the
No,
Yeah.
the canoe has been forfeited as evidence in your crime of inebriation while driving.
What?
You need to walk back home.
Oh, I mean, I guess fair is fair, man. Okay.
All right, good luck.
Wait,
Thanks,
I
man.
do. I have a question for you.
Okay.
Does this map make any sense to you?
The now unnamed guy kind of holds it and has Chet look at it too, and they both like look at it. Nah, man.
Cool. Do you know of like if we keep going this way, is there going to be a stream that goes south from the river?
Yeah, I think we passed the stream like a couple hours ago, maybe.
Oh, a couple hours. That's good.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that might have been where our oars went.
Oh, well, if we find them, we will. Where do you live?
They live at a place. Let's
We're not
find out.
taking these oars back.
Over in Rivington?
At one point, Ezra just like leans over to Opal and says, "What do you think they're saying?"
I don't know, but it doesn't. It kind of doesn't look like it's going well, but then it does. I don't
Look.
know.
Look, Mr. Thomas made that one glow.
I wonder why.
Oh, look, he made that one glow.
They're
Wow.
from El Turel. El Turel?
El
We'll go with El
Turel.
Turel.
Elturel. Fantastic. If we find your oars, we'll come to Elturel. Bring them to you.
Yes. But your
Cool,
canoe has
man.
been forfeited.
No, it hasn't.
Right, right.
It hasn't.
It hasn't?
No.
I'm getting mixed signals from you guys.
Hey, does Tyr like lying?
I know. I actually was trained in being a Coast Guard, and I do know that this is a violation worth 10 gold, and that's about how much this canoe is worth.
Inside check.
Yeah?
Oh god.
That's a 13 plus 13 plus 5, 18.
Oh my god.
I took like an online exam.
Okay, I don't. It's not worth the time. Yeah, listen, the man spoke. So honor his.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. Me and
I
Chet.
was
we're
testing you,
gonna-
and you passed the test. Good job.
I was tested.
Yes, and you passed.
Or Chet.
Both of you.
I was.
What's your
Oh.
name, by the way? You never got it.
Oh, I'm Brad.
Yeah,
I
right,
could have guessed that.
right. You guys are friends of Chad, right?
You guys know Chad. I love Chad, man.
And his brother
He's the
Kyle.
best. Yeah, Kyle's alright. He's got that little brother energy. So sometimes he's cool, sometimes he's fine. But you know,
And
yeah.
you all-
But
yeah.
What about Tom?
I don't know, Tom.
All right, thanks for the help, Chet and Brad. I hope you have a safe
No, thanks you
journey
guys
home.
for the help. You know, lifesavers. We owe you. You know,
Yeah.
for not arresting
You
us or
you would have actually
whatever,
died
so.
without our intervention.
I think you for sure.
Yeah.
I point to. I look at Chet. No, Brad. I think you
Brad.
for sure would have died. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know which way was up, man. That was
Yeah.
crazy.
And
Looking
Brad,
back
Oh, sorry.
now-
And I like touch the ice cube that's on his arm.
Oh,
and
it's like red.
I know, and I like
and-
melted away.
No.
Oh, I'm so sorry about that.
Oh, that was you? That was
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. You might.
I can't feel right here right
I know
now.
you might want to hurry back to the. That might
Okay, I mean it's a pretty long walk. We got this far
for sure.
on a
I
boat
think
and
they,
with
I think you'll be
doors
able to keep it.
originally.
You should be able to keep it. Doesn't look. You should be able to keep it.
Well, I hope so. This arm's pretty important to me.
what do you do with it? No, please don't answer that. Please leave.
Okay. And Brad kind of like blushes a little and goes. Chet following.
Well, go us.
High five. I think that does it. I think I'm. Can you vouch for me at my knighting ceremony?
As soon as we get back from this journey, yes, I will do.
Thank you.
Who are you going to talk to about getting knighted?
The queen.
Yeah.
And you didn't murder any one of them, which is character growth.
I've yet to murder. Well, since you've known me, I've not murdered anyone.
Okay. Well, whatever you do with not when I'm not there doesn't count. In Tyr's eyes.
Good to know, actually.
Yep.
Are they
Oh, hey.
taking the boat?
You,
I don't know what they're doing.
You dropped your sword, but
Oh,
I'm spread.
I promise you look up and Ryvar's just
hey,
back.
come back.
I literally. Wait, never mind.
Do you guys just leave the canoe?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
Okay.
I
Okay.
mean, it has no oars.
All right. If you're back on the trail now, heading in an eastward direction, it takes you until the sun is almost setting. But because they a couple hours with the stream on their side to move a little quicker, but a little bit more than 2 hours, and you come to a southern stream branching off from this main river.
We did it.
We found it.
Yeah, let's.
Is this it?
Looks
Look at the
like it.
map.
I'll look at the map. See if I see any, like, does, like, the bend seem like it looks on the map? Like, are there any...
I mean, knowing that this is a crudely drawn map, it doesn't exactly, but with what Tierson said, and this is the first really southern stretch you've gotten to,
Yeah.
you can assume that this is probably your best bet.
Which way are we going on this map?
Down, I think.
Okay.
Mhm.
So we're trying
I think we're
to
starting in the top
start
right
at
corner.
which way?
Like we're starting in the top right corner. We go like down, but mainly left. So
Yeah.
Mainly down a little right.
And we want to be to the
We want
west
to end to
side
the.
of
We want to
the-
end at that little church thing next to the volcano.
Yes.
I think.
Okay.
Ending point. Also, this is so nerdy and so mechanicky, but I just had to point this out. I have a movement speed of 40, and if I were to do my action to dash and then use a key point to do bonus action dash, that would be 120 feet in 6 seconds.
It's
But
ridiculous.
120 feet is 40 yards, and like in the NFL, a 40-yard dash is a thing. And people consistently run like 4 point something at the 40-yard dash, which means my like
Nerd.
level 3rd monk is not even as fast as a pro athlete. And I just have
But
to
you
point
can-
that out.
But you can keep it up over like minutes, though.
That's
I
true.
guess that's true. That is true. That's just one
Yeah.
regular sprint. I will for at least that. Yeah, I guess that's a good point. Yeah. That's a good point. Anyway, sorry. It's so nerdy of me, but I was just like, wow, that's crazy. It's not really that fast.
That was nerdy of you in like
That's
3
crazy.
different ways.
I know.
Yeah.
Math nerd,
Math,
sports nerd,
D&D. Yeah.
Yeah.
My monk
Ugh.
calculated to this is a football player.
Wow. Thanks for marrying me, Emily. Sorry.
So you find the stream that goes south, and it is nearing evening. Sun is starting to set, almost fully set. You maybe could travel another hour or choose to make camp here.
I think we should make camp here.
Been an eventful day. I don't mind.
Yeah, we know it's safe here. Well, as
Yeah.
safe as it can be.
Sorry, Mr. Thomas. Do you disagree?
I have used up a bunch of my abilities healing those troubled young adults.
So yeah, we should just sit here. We should just stay here
Yes,
before
sure.
it gets too dark.
Mhm.
Sure. Yeah, we can kind of maybe we should even camp on the corner of the stream and the river, kind of surrounded by water.
That's good. That's nice.
Sorry.
Safe.
Opal.
As long as I'm the furthest away, I'll roll in my sleep. I've gotten better.
I mean, we're not sleeping on the shore.
Well, no, but you never know.
We only have to be afraid if something comes from the water. Like,
Nothing would
rain
come from
is
the water,
bad.
right? Would anything come from the water? What would come from the water? If there was anything to come from the water, what would come from the
Only
water?
snake sharks.
Mmm. Can we kill him?
Heard that they have teeth as
No.
long as your finger.
I have short
And-
fingers.
Like
Okay. Okay, we can kill him though.
you might not hear them coming.
Bye bye.
I don't know. I think it's like no. I think we're gonna be fine.
You camp down for the night, probably making watches to keep out for these snake sharks. And
Jim was like,
uh,
how to homebrew?
I don't know. We'll see.
Oh god.
But do you take watches again?
Yes, and
I'll take first watch.
Okay, I'll volunteer for the second watch since I didn't.
Take third.
Okay.
I'll go to sleep. That's fine. I'll go to sleep.
That's probably for the best. That way we can just skip the night. Skip.
Yeah, just lay down and go straight to sleep easily. Definitely.
Have some of my
easily,
tea.
for sure. Okay.
So you have some tea. You probably go fishing again, and easily enough make some dinner of
Crush up some
nice
sleeping
tea and
bags.
fish.
Just kidding.
I drug
Um,
Ezra.
Yeah.
Mr. Thomas, give me a perception check.
Yep.
Actually,
Yes, sure.
each watch, go ahead and
Yes.
roll, and I'll ask each of you for it.
Hey.
You got
Okay.
8.
I rolled an 8.
Uneventful
Roll-
night for you once
rolling
again.
hot today.
Mm-hmm. Ryvar?
21.
21 and Opal.
17.
Okay. I would say both Ryvar and Opal, on both of your shifts, you also notice a raven. perched in a nearby tree, watching your group as they camp down for the night.
Hmm. Okay.
So,
Were you saying words?
me?
'Cause it was not chaotic. I
Oh,
could
sorry.
not hear him.
Oh no, I gotta stop. I said I gotta stop doing that. I said that. What did I say? I said, oh yeah, I said I really wish I had some kind of speak with animals spell or something, but I definitely don't. So I think that I would just watch the raven, knowing why it's there. Maybe I would just, like, not even yelling out, just like speaking out loud. Say like, "You wanna talk?" Figured.
Opal? To you.
And I would
I
have
would've-
pointed it out to Opal too, by the way.
Yeah.
I would have just like said hello again. And at one point maybe tried to
I thought
like I don't know, offer it like some crumbs. Like if I have just like some crumbs of some rations or something, just like put it in front of me.
Okay. Give me an animal handling check.
Okay, not terrible. Don't say that. I got a 19.
Okay. I will say it kind of hops forward on the branch nearer to you, kind of eyes you and eyes the crumbs, and flutters to the ground. And then kind of like as the cautious bird does, of just like takes a couple steps and then like take a couple steps, watches you, but then like goes past the crumbs and towards some remnants of the fish and dinner that you guys had, and keeping still like a good like 7 feet out of range berth between you and it scuttles around you, picks it up some of the leftover fish and scraps of that, and then gets up, pops up and flies back to the tree.
I would just keep an eye on it.
Okay. As the sun rises and again your party starts to stir, just before they all really wake up, you notice it fly away.
Does it fly in the direction that we are going?
Seems to. At least to start, it takes off further down the stream that has branched off of the river.
I'm gonna just like as we travel for the day, keep an eye out, see if I see it anywhere.
Okay. Does anybody do anything that morning? Okay. One person give me another D10
Really?
for day 3. Just
Okay,
one.
let's see. D10. 7?
Okay. As the morning continues, go ahead and give me a survival check. And then it's pretty easy, I think, still to keep an eye on the river. So give me a survivor and then a perception to see if you notice the crow or raven.
Alright, survival is 14.
Okay.
And perception is 12.
Okay. As you start the day, a few hours into your journey, you're able to keep next to this river. You don't notice the crow, or the raven, ever coming into view again, but you do notice some pretty dark storm clouds heading your way.
Uh-oh.
And only a couple hours into the day, it just downpours on you all, and doesn't seem to stop for the entire day. You notice that the river itself rises ever so slightly, but you're able to kind of trudge through it, definitely slower than you would on a nice clear day. And if nothing else during the day, as you get closer and closer to the end of the day, you start to see some shapes of buildings in the distance.
Um,
And as you get closer, go ahead.
I was just gonna say one of the things that, I'm 11, being in level 3. One of the things I can do is warm 1 pound of non-living material for up to an hour. So, like, Ezra, do you have like a scarf or like a cloak or like anything?
I mean, I have, my little, like,
Yeah, I think I would
shawl
like
cloak thing.
consistently like touch her like shaw and like warm it so that she's like warm
Oh,
under
that's so nice.
the rain.
I really am not my best self out here.
I know, that's why I'm trying to make you feel as okay as I can. I
So
made
yeah.
the fire, I'm fine.
Near the end of the day, it's still raining, but you eventually get to kind of the outskirts of what you presume to be which way, as it's the first kind of building and maybe little town looking area that you have yet to come across.
Know that I kind of like stop the group. I don't want to. This is open for discussion, of course, but I wonder if Opal and myself should get off our horses, sneak up to see if we can notice it, or we head in as a 4 party with 3 horses.
You think
That's a
it's
great
gonna
idea.
be scary?
I think that there's a possibility. I think, but probably not.
Okay, I'm ready.
I think we've been through scarier.
Wait, is this okay with you, Mr. Thomas?
Yes, of course. I'll keep your horses watched.
Please, make sure they feel loved.
Okay.
Opal, ready?
Yes.
Opal, sneak up.
Okay, go ahead and give me stealth checks, the both of you.
Come on, Pike.
God.
18.
Oh man, I know she's coming in. 18 plus 6, 24.
Nice. All right. So you guys enter this town similar to the image that you see, but now still heavy rain falling, which obscures your view a little bit. But you see overgrown buildings, not a lot of them. You can maybe see that it was once maybe there's like kind of your main strip of shops and a little town hall, but then mostly kind of out in the distance you see outlines of some farmhouses, as this was primarily a farming town, and not a lot of actual permanent residents. And from again where you are and sneaking into just the beginning of town, you don't see much more than that, but both of you go ahead and give me perception checks.
Yep, I knew it was. And eventually 7.
Okay.
12.
Hi, Daisy.
All right.
Pretty.
As you guys are sneaking by and looking and trying to see for any movement before you can catch it coming towards you,
Oh no.
you turn, hear
Uh-oh.
this rustling, and see
No.
this giant shape run across your view, just like 5 feet in front of you, almost just as startled by you as you are of it, as it comes running out of these bushes and then immediately turns and runs away from you at the same time.
What is it?
Is it? Can we tell what it is?
As it gets closer to you and runs, you see that it's a giant boar that has just come out of nowhere and run away.
Oh, they did charge us.
Oh, God, yeah. Do you think there's more?
Check in the direction that it came.
Mm.
Like,
As
check
you-
again.
Sneak that way.
Continue to sneak that way, and we'll say with at least a direction to head, even with low perceptions, you can in the distance see some similar shapes that look like a herd of boar and maybe giant boar as well that are just hanging out. They're not charging at you currently. They just seem to now be maybe living here or at least passing through.
Maybe we should back to the our way quietly.
Yes, I agree. Are there any other like? Do we go past any like shop doors or anything like that?
As you're walking through, after like 50 years of being abandoned, everything's
Yeah.
pretty much in decay. Um, from either rain or just general the wood decaying itself. So there's not any recognizable shop signs or windows. Just with the general structure and layout of the buildings, you can kind of tell where like, okay, maybe this was a strip of, shops or a market versus the, town hall where maybe a small council met at some point.
I would just if we pass any doors at all, like put my ear to the door, and even though it is abandoned, just kind of listen, make sure there's no signs of life inside the buildings.
Still keeping that perception check for this time around. Still don't hear anything.
Okay.
Do you want to stay here, or do you want to go back to the
No, let's go back.
sneak our way back?
Okay. And easily enough, you're able to go back without much more disturbances and make your way back to the two.
Town seems relatively empty. However, there are a herd of giant boar, which I think will remain docile as long as we spook them. So make our way through town, camp on the other side if we
Right. Yeah.
Good. Good thing.
Okay.
I brush your horse's hairs.
It looks immaculate. Noticed.
Lovely.
Thank you.
All right, everybody, give me a stealth check.
Like the little
Thank
braid
you.
you did on the tail. Perception?
Stealth.
So
23.
Ooh,
I got a 14.
13.
Wow, I have -1 disadvantage and I got a 17.
Nice.
Nice.
Amazing. Okay,
Good
yeah, I
job.
mean, collectively, you feel you're pretty sneaky as you're going through and keeping on the lookout. Unless you're looking for something in particular with passive perceptions and just keeping an eye out, you do notice a couple more groupings of boars, maybe more than just like a couple here and there, but like a little trio, and then a pair, and then another trio kind of scattered throughout. But as you sneak by them, and even if one kind of perks up, they don't really seem to give you any mind as you walk through quietly this abandoned town.
Would I have remembered any boar activity this dense in my travels?
From my memory, I think you came more from the forest.
Did I? Okay.
And you came when we played the
Yeah.
very first one, you arrived in Candlekeep from being out in the forest.
Yeah.
So I think
okay.
you were a little farther south
Okay.
and likely crossed through the Wood of Sharp Teeth and kind of down through the plain. So
Okay.
wild boars are pretty common just in more plain areas.
But I wouldn't remember anything.
No, not really.
Okay.
All right. Then you cross through the town and kind of feel like you're on the other side of it. You can continue walking a little bit more. It is pretty dark, especially in the rain. So you can distance yourself a little bit more if you so choose, or you can now go away from where the river is, because the river kind of runs just along the east side of this town,
Yeah.
and then continues south. So you can continue to follow the river or follow more of the path that's drawn out in the map itself.
The stream appears to be easier, but map clear is this
think we
way
should
underlined.
Follow the path.
Yeah, we should definitely.
Can I look around and see if I see the raven anywhere?
Sure, give me a perception check.
Modified 20.
The modified
yeah.
20, you don't see the raven, but also in this heavy rainstorm, it's probably taken shelter somewhere.
Yeah.
So it's not maybe odd that you don't see it right now.
Yeah.
I think, is there a path or like a road that leads out of the western side of this town, like the map would imply?
Give me a perception check.
19.
With a 19 and even in heavy rain, you do notice a very old trail. You kind of notice that now, even in it's mud versus wet grass, and does lead a little bit more coming to the south. It kind of, again, since this is an illustration, it doesn't really show it justice, but the southern exit of this town branches off and goes just to the river as like a more curved to the river a little farther south versus then going west away from the river. And it looks like it's maybe a maintained road, but clearly also hard to tell right now, so you have no idea how well this road is maintained throughout the journey.
We have to do our best to trudge through.
So you
Oh, wait,
travel
but it's
another
almost-
hour, or
Yeah,
it's getting later, where you should
Oh, yeah.
Do you guys
you
think
could
should we
maybe go another hour, but
do you think we should go another hour outside the town or camp?
Let's keep going for another hour, I say.
Yeah, that sounds. That
I don't like that
kind
town.
of gives me the creeps.
Yeah, I agree. I just was
Yeah.
hoping. So yeah, I think we go comfortably another hour until it's okay, we definitely gotta stop, and then
okay.
find a place to camp.
I would say as you're in, actually, never mind. It's still raining. You probably don't see this. Never mind. It's not a bad thing. Don't worry. Calm down. Jeez. But you travel about an hour until you feel comfortably far enough away from the town that if the boars or if there was something there, probably wouldn't get you. You make the best camp that you can. It has been raining all day and doesn't seem to be stopping. You make some kind of makeshift tents to try to keep yourself as dry as possible, but you're sleeping in the mud, you're dirty, you're just doing the best you can with kind of what you have right now.
Every once in a while, I'll warm a piece of cloth for somebody so you can have. It only lasts for a minute though, but every once in a while, I'll give you a minute of respite from the cold.
Oh, it's like when you get a dry towel after you get out of the pool.
Yeah.
Like your mom puts your towel in the dryer. Anybody else's moms do that? No,
Yeah,
just
no,
my
yeah,
palace
for sure.
mom. Okay.
No, my mom did.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's actually
That's my
the
mom.
warming. Is up to, it's the creating elements. It's a minute. The warming is up to an hour, so I can give you an hour here and there of
Good.
Amazing.
warm.
I'd fall asleep
Nice.
immediately.
So the three of you are taking watches.
Yeah. I'll take the first one, Sir Thomas.
Okay. I'll take the second.
Take the third again.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm so sorry, Mr. Thomas.
Well, it's a matter of time.
Of course, I just don't want to offend you. Something you haven't earned yet.
In my book, I've earned it.
Oh, for sure, in mine too. But you aren't one. To be
No,
clear.
but that's just a formality at this point.
Yeah, but one that is cemented.
I mean, is it the truth? Yes.
Yes. And is it only the truth, and that's the only one? Yes. But hey, one day.
Yes, of course.
All right, all three of you go ahead and give me perception checks for your various watches.
Oh no, 7.
Sleeping.
13.
Oh, 23.
Nice.
23. All right. Ryvar and Mr. Thomas, you don't notice anything during your watches.
Hey,
As you take over Opal and settle in, the rain is just starting to let up. It has been raining almost all night.
what are we on,
But
some
as yes, plot twist. That's what this next
Oh my God,
chapter of
Jeff, bro.
Candlekeep is.
That's the raven.
Yeah.
You notice the rain starting to let up, and as the sound of the rain lets up, having also listened for the river very frequently, you hear a louder rush of water than you would have expected. And give me an intelligence check
I don't know.
or survival.
Let's try it.
The flood.
Do a religion check.
15.
Come for us.
Okay.
Fill the boat.
With your perception check and that intelligence, you hear the water closer than it probably should be after traveling away from it for an hour, and can guess if you had camped closer to town or near the stream, a flash flood would have swept you guys away with all of the rain that just
wow.
happened.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, we are amazing.
God.
So you know that if there was a road, if there's tracks, one, it's probably now swept away. But two, it might be difficult to find your way back now without in a flash flood. You don't know how frequent those are. You don't know how much this rainfall truly affects this area. But you do know that there has been a flash flood behind you, and you are lucky to have continued.
Okay.
Incredible foresight by us.
Definitely did that for that reason.
Yeah, we know.
It wasn't because we thought we were gonna get attacked by ghosts.
Okay, so next day, you all wake up. Thankfully, the rain has let up. It's still cloudy, but the sun looks like it's trying to start peeking through, and maybe you'll get some sun as you continue throughout this day. But your morale's a little low, having slept through rain and soaked through to your bones, and now still trudging through mud to continue your journey to the west and hopefully towards the Hand and Horn.
Opal's really, really grumpy about being wet this long.
Opal, go ahead and give me a survival check to see if you can continue to find the road.
Oh, bull.
12.
Okay. What did I? Okay. With the map that you have and the kind of overgrown and ruined road you're trying to follow, the road disappears at some point, and you think you're heading in the right direction, but you're honestly not sure. And you can continue with your best guess or try to backtrack a little bit to lose some time, but maybe find the trail where you may have lost it, basically. But right now, you're unsure of if you're heading truly west anymore versus maybe had taken a little bit more of a turn than you should have.
I think because there's a clear trail on the map, I would run it by everyone, but I would think it worthwhile to go back and find the trail again.
So you're not certain if we are heading in the right way?
No, we're not on the trail anymore, and it's hard to tell, and there's a trail on the map. So...
I thought the trail was more of a metaphorical.
Oh, I don't know.
Maybe we should trust your instinct.
Up to this point, there's been a trail, so...
I guess we should.
Yeah, we should make sure.
Just to be sure. I mean, we don't want to end up lost.
Okay,
You have to go poo?
I'm okay.
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 Let's go find the.
Emily, give me a D4 roll.
No.
Ooh,
Or...
subtables.
This is not great.
Table that doesn't have
Okay, a 4.
A 4?
That's either a great thing or a terrible thing.
Okay. You know the direction you were heading, so you decide just to about face and go back the way you came. It only takes you about 10 minutes to find the trail, and as you do so, you see kind of where it is, get a little bit more familiar with the trail itself, and realize you were heading in the right direction. You were heading west as you should have, and the trail just gets a little bit more overgrown and harder to tell, but that backtracking allowed you to notice a little bit more of kind of still some signs that show where the trail is headed. And so you're able to kind of go back to where you were and past that point of really uncertainty and then find a pretty solid trail again and keep heading
Great.
west.
Really loudly to Ryvar, I say, I can't believe we ever didn't trust Opal.
What?
What?
She
You
said
don't trust me?
she can't believe we didn't ever trust you because there was a time where we found you very untrustworthy.
Why?
Oh,
Tell her. Yeah, tell her.
wait, I thought we were doing
What
it
have I
as a
done?
joke. Oh, we're still joking. Okay. Yeah, when we didn't trust you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what
Yeah.
did I do?
Tell her, Ezra.
You know what you did.
No.
Mr. Thomas.
That's
we
why
went
we
to
can't
Thomas's,
trust you.
Right?
I didn't trust you
because
that entire first adventure.
Oh.
Oh, well, we were okay. Wait. Hold on. Ezra
Wait,
and I
wait,
are
wait.
joking.
Are you
Oh.
joking, Mr. Thomas?
I've taken a vow of truthfulness.
Uh-oh.
Oh. Well,
That's
we've
not
always
weird.
trusted you, although we were just kind of joking.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
Oh.
learning how to joke.
oh, that was a
Okay.
joke. You guys were joking.
Yeah,
Yep,
we
and
were
you
joking.
weren't. Has there ever been a
No.
time where you've not trusted me?
Yes, many times.
What about me?
Many times.
Other than
What about
Ezra,
Cinnamon?
because she's
Never.
a child.
I am 16.
Yes, but with this question, you are a child. In the muffins,
I'm
or
16.
in this group of friends that we are, who's the most attractive?
Dang it.
Listen, my
Cute.
vow of truthfulness doesn't negate any that's Opal.
Oh,
Okay.
Opal is cute.
Yes,
Of
it
course,
is.
objectively, you are cute.
Dark-
I'm 16.
Yes, but he's older man. That would be weird if he's that you were cute.
No, I'm
Sure.
16.
Yes.
I remembered.
Ezra, you're 16.
When will I be 17? Oh no.
Is
How
what
long
you
have
just
I been 16?
you just realized your age?
I guess I just remembered.
Is today your new birthday?
Today's your birthday. You just turned 16.
Happy birthday!
Whoa!
Ezra?
What day is it? That must
Today.
be. That's kind of for
We'll dub it in. We'll
It's
dub it in.
today.
Today is my birthday.
Yay!
Okay, let's keep going then. For my birthday, I want to go on a hike.
Okay. That's good.
You've got your
Okay.
wish.
So you travel another hour or so, and you get to a point where the road takes a sharper left than it has really before. And Opal, you can assume that this is that turn on the map just before you would get to the Hand and Horn. And so again, for scale wise of what this map is, to get to that point probably took you 3-4 hours, so about a half a day. So just for scale of to kind of keep an eye out for these landmarks, you can kind of maybe hope that the map's at least accurate in that capacity.
So we can maybe reach the Hand and Horn before nightfall.
Yeah, okay. It seems like we're missing something from this map because the path we're taking disappears.
I
But
think
it's okay.
I think it's implied that it goes behind the horn and behind those.
Hmm.
Oh no.
Yeah, we're gonna have to go to Spooky Forest. Sure.
Oh boy.
Hmm. And there's one hill that has 3 trees on it coming up.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see that.
Is that sarcasm?
No.
That's kind of a form of lying.
Excuse me, Tyr.
As Mr. Thomas has an existential crisis, you guys travel about an hour before you see ahead of you on a fork in the road, and on one side of the fork is an oddly placed rock that at the top of it almost looks like it's a couple fingers and a thumb branching out. Very stubby fingers, but maybe fingers nonetheless. That does look like a hand.
Is that it?
How big is it?
Opal, you have
It's
the map.
probably a good, like, 8-9 feet tall.
Okay.
Should
Well,
probably
we
let the dog.
Sorry, I'm here.
Look
do I
at-
need to make a survival check?
No, look.
Not yet.
Look, it's the hand.
Hand.
It's got sausage fingers.
In the right place.
That's good.
it's good. Now we just need to find a wood bridge.
We're very super far away from the
But next step, bridge.
I think next we need to look for the horn. Can we see the horn
Yes.
from here?
You don't see currently anything that looks like it might be the horn.
We have to go in the hand.
I think we need to go like southish from the horn, the hand. Find the horn.
And from you, where you are heading, kind of south, it does branch off kind of left and right. The right would head a little bit more west versus a little southeast of the other one.
Southeast one is the horn.
Southeast.
According to the
Let's
map.
go.
We're off to see the horn.
You
The horniest
travel
horn and fall.
only probably
Next
another 30 minutes. And it's starting to get a little bit more foresty. There's not a lot of trees, but it's getting more and more trees as you continue to go. And eventually you come across a almost sequoia-esque tree that is open in the center with its roots kind of cascading down on either side of the road. And instead of it branching up into a full branched tree, it almost, the trunk kind of forms a point at the top.
Just the horn.
It
The
must
horn
be.
is not a rock, it is a tree.
Whoa. Can you go in the middle of it? Can you like go underneath it?
It looks like the road goes straight through
Oh, we
it.
should take our
Let's-
picture and we getting under
Yeah, I'll go to the gift shop.
there.
I would go under. I would want to like go
Yes,
like
let's ride our horses
look
under
up
there. That's gonna
under.
be super cool, yeah.
Yeah, and it's huge. Like there's easy clearing for even people of Ryvar size on a horse to go under this enormous tree, and it's a very Kodak moment of seeing the inner workings of this thick, well maintained, it doesn't look like it's rotting away or anything, tree, which is odd as to why it looks healthy as a tree with a full branch and leaves and top to it would be if it's just kind of coming to a point and no branches, no leaves, no anything growing from
Does
it.
the tree look alive?
It looks like a perfectly healthy tree.
Kirsten would love to hear.
As you continue, you can get another 3-4 hours in, and you start to get to more and more forest. It almost feels like,
Rough
knowing
road.
that the woods are fairly close, it almost seems like this is like a patch of trees that have kind of almost escaped to your kind of central forest area, but it is what you can gather, this kind of patch of forest that you have to get through on your way to Three Tree Hill.
What time is it now that we've reached the edge of this forest?
At the edge of the forest, it's probably only like 2 in the afternoon.
Oh.
So you could travel another couple hours into the forest if you so
But
choose.
we don't know how long it will take.
Well,
I
only
wonder
one way
if
to find out.
We could just go in, or from the looks of the link, if the map has been correct so far, we could potentially sleep out here on the edge of the woods, and then make it to the wood bridge tomorrow. Start at the very beginning of the day, and we could just go through the during the day.
Yeah, because what if it gets dark and then
Well,
we're in the
well,
woods?
Because then,
It's a good idea.
So, or, I mean, I
I
know
think
that
we
that
should-
makes more time, but we can also just go in and sleep halfway through.
Mm-mm. No, thank you.
Should be a group
Yes,
visit.
I think
Okay.
maybe we don't camp in the woods.
I'm 16.
Thomas.
I'm 16.
I would have voted for camping in the woods because what if we could just get to the clearing? I don't know. Feels
Yes, I
wasteful.
guess-
Not.
I guess we don't know that we won't get out of the forest before nightfall.
Well, we just walk really fast.
Yeah.
We could, I guess, though, on the other, there's the third option of just, if we're not out of the forest by nightfall, we just travel through the night until we're out of the forest. That way,
Sure.
we're
Yeah.
at least not sleeping in the forest.
Yeah.
That's
I
true.
like that. I like that.
Okay, let's
That's
do that
great.
then. Let's just push
Let's
through.
do it.
Okay.
All right,
through.
push through. You travel the usual kind of full day's travel, which is probably another 3 hours worth of travel. So you're pushing it to get starting of sundown, sun starting to set. It's not a dense forest, but it is different than the kind of open plains that you've been in. So Opal, go ahead and give me a survival check. See if you can keep the
Opal, the
trail.
survivalist.
16.
Great. With a 16, you're able to kind of even now tell where clearly there was a trail because it's a little wider between trees. So you're able to keep the trail. And you go forward. After 3 hours, you're still in the forest. Another 4 hours, you're still in the forest.
Like midnight now?
No, so it's 3 hours from that 2 p.m. Mark where it's like early evening.
Okay,
You
okay,
might be
okay.
camping. Another hour or so, it's like 6 p.m. You're still in the forest, so you've done 4 hours since the
I understand.
the horn.
Okay, cool.
And you're still in the forest. Do you continue?
I feel like we
Gotta
can,
continue.
I feel like we can
We
get to the wood
continue.
bridge without exhausting ourselves.
Yeah.
Or at least out of the forest. Let's do it!
Out of the forest.
Fun
All
going.
right. You continue forward. As you're leading the way, still Opal, give me a perception check.
This is
Ooh, 25.
Damn.
Great. As you're leading everyone through, and trying to keep an eye out for landmarks at the same time, with a lower roll, you wouldn't have seen this, but you see kind of almost like through some trees, weirdly trees that are higher than all the others but don't look bigger than all the others. And as you kind of go around a curve to a more opening in the trees around you, directly around the road that you're currently on, you look up and see a very large hill that's currently treeless, but on top has a bunch of trees on top. It almost blends into its surrounding in itself, and it doesn't have 3 trees on top necessarily, but you can tell with that high of a perception there are 3 trees that are definitely taller than the rest, and can guess that this might be 3 Tree Hill. It's just been enough time since this map was made that more trees have grown since then. But
I
it is
would
very
point
clearly a tall hill with a clump of trees on top of it.
I would point it out to everyone else. Doesn't it look like it could be the same thing?
I think
Well,
so.
there's
I think-
more than 3 trees.
But I think those 3 taller trees are much older, which means this might.
Oh no.
What
Okay.
if
But it
This-
also
the-
means that we are hopefully almost to where we want to be.
Hopefully the
That's
bridge is
good
not
news.
out.
It will definitely be out.
Oh gosh.
But if we
Okay.
prepare for that, then we'll be pleasantly surprised.
I'm gonna prepare for the inevitability that it is not out.
I hear you. Wait. You just
Wait.
bugs me. We push forward.
All right, you push forward.
Move ahead.
after probably another hour, so it's not too late in the night, probably about 7 at this point, you feel you see the tweet. God,
The
the tweez.
tweez.
The
The
tweez are
tweez!
dwindling and less dense. But the trees are becoming more sparse. You feel as if you are getting to the edge of this forest patch, and probably at about 7:30, you are in the more. There's a tree here and there, but definitely out of the forest. And I would say, in the quiet of now the night, with your passive perception, Ryvar, you can hear the very faint rushing of water.
Close to the river.
That's good.
Get there.
Ooh.
We'll camp on the river
To the
bed like we
bridge?
have been. Yes. Maybe we can
Okay.
even camp on the bridge. That'd be kind of cool, right?
Oh. Yeah, I'm just getting tired.
I'm tired too, but you're just riding on the back of a horse, so you can just sleep on my
Okay.
back.
Okay. Pressing on.
I like take her
Uh,
shawl and like tie it around my waist, so it's like a reverse baby Bjorn.
Amazing.
It's like draped her. It's like tying her to me.
In my sleep, I'm going, I'm 16.
Get her a gift.
Since you're pressing on, I would like one person to give me a D10.
I got it. No problem.
Interesting.
4.
Hey, actually,
Okay.
Thank you.
Interesting. Okay. As you head forward, after another hour, so it's now about 8:30 at night, you can see not too far in the distance, a wooden bridge that is still standing that goes
Okay.
across a river
pleasant surprise.
that's probably another mile or so away. So it would take you another 30 minutes. So you could get there by about 9 p.m.
We want to
Alright.
camp by the bridge.
Yeah, I expected this bridge to be here. Yeah, let's camp by the bridge. Let's get to the other side
Why
and
not?
camp.
Cool.
You know, just in case.
Yeah.
As you approach the bridge, you see 2 humanoids in the
Oh.
water.
Oh.
Is it
Currently, this is
Chad
a
and
smaller stream, so they're in the middle of the stream and at about chest high.
Chet and Brad.
You don't know yet. You're a little far away.
Oh.
They're about chest high in the water. And with the moonlight, those that I think have dark vision can see them, but they are still. If you want to continue to approach them, you can get a clearer image. Right now, you're far enough away that you just see 2 humanoids.
I say let's just approach them. We're not doing anything
We're nice
untoward.
people.
We're on a path.
People would love to hear from us.
Good thing I'm asleep.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. As you approach, you notice those who has dark vision amongst these people.
I do
Actually,
technically,
Surprisingly
but I'm
enough, even though
sleeping.
I'm like a reptilian creature.
Okay.
I
So then
do.
Opal and Ezra, you notice sooner than the others, but these are 2 elves that are continually looking down into the water. One will kind of dunk down for a second and then pop back up, while then the other one dunks down and pops back up, and you can tell that they seem to be looking for something.
I would have probably woken up as we like stopped and to like see them. I would have probably like shaken awake, been like, "What are those? What are they looking for?
I don't know. Should we ask?
Should we help them?
Yeah, why not?
Maybe they'll pay us."
Yes.
Good
Wait,
evening.
before
We
we go-
don't want to scare you.
You say that as one kind of dips down, and the other goes, "Whoa! I mean, this late, it's still scary, but
Sorry,
hello."
but I just thought you'd rather hear my voice
That-
first.
Nope, that's fair. Hello.
Hello, we're just traveling through here. Looks like you're looking for something. Did you lose something? Do you need some help?
Yeah. my brother over here, as he comes up and kind of like spits out water, you notice that it's a female and a male elf, and the female continues, yeah, my brother over here, Knucklehead lost our family necklace that we've only
Oh.
had for 500
s-
years
I
in the
sprint over
family.
and jump into the water.
Okay, you sprint over and jump in the water in the relative area that they've been searching.
That's our friend,
Um,
Mr. Thomas. He's a nice guy.
Okay, he's really determined.
Yep.
He'll find anything at the bottom. He sinks right down.
Go ahead and give me an investigation check to see if you can find
Natural.
Okay.
20.
a necklace.
Natural.
11.
In the night and underwater, you spend as much time as you can hold your breath, and kind of do 2 pauses to get some breath and then back under, and don't find any necklace just yet.
I come out of the water. Everyone stay right here. I dive back down.
Can I make an insight check on these
Sure.
friends?
That's a good choice.
24.
Good roll. Good roll.
With the 24, you don't notice anything amiss. As Mr. Thomas jumps in the water, they kind of look a little confused, look to you guys, but then go right back to frantically searching in the water. They are kind of just to the southeast of the bridge, and just like taking up probably like a good 20 feet of just going up and down in that general area, all the way to the bridge and up.
Before I go jumping in the water, where exactly, like, how did you...
Yeah, well, we were traveling, from the forest. That's kind of where we usually live, with our family. They're wood elves. You can, I think, Ryvar, you can tell enough difference of elves that you can tell that they're wood elves, so they likely live in the, forest that's east of here. So we just wanted to kind of go on a mini vacation, and found this nice stream and thought we'd explore a little bit and wanted a reprieve in the water, and then, well, we jumped right in, and like I said, this idiot didn't think that he had, a necklace on and was doing handstands and stuff, and it just fell right off, and then we lost it.
Where were you doing the
How-
handstands? Like, where in the water?
Well, we got in the water, and she points about the 20 feet away from the bridge. We got in the water about then, but we were swimming kind of this whole area, and I don't think we immediately noticed it was gone. And since the stream's heading kind of towards the bridge, we assumed maybe it might have gone closer to the bridge. It might have gone past the bridge at this point. I honestly don't know.
No, that's smart. I will check on the other side of the bridge.
Okay.
How well do you feel like you could describe this necklace?
Oh, very well. It's like I said, it's been in our family for 500 years, and it's a gold necklace. It's unfortunately a pretty thin chain, but the pendant itself has a very nice green emerald right in the center, and it's inlaid in gold as well, with some rubies surrounding the circle that it's inlaid in. Please don't steal it if you do find it. I'm not describing it well. It's worthless.
I might be able to find it. I'm gonna try to
Okay.
cast locate objects with that description.
Okay. Let me see. Does it have like a tiered like roll do you
no.
have to make, or do you have to see it? I can't remember what the spell says.
Okay, so here it says the spell can locate an object known to you as long as you've seen it up close, so that's not it. Alternatively, the spell can locate the nearest object of a particular kind, such as a certain kind of apparel, jewelry, furniture, tool, or weapon.
so he's like,
So if there's another
necklace.
necklace nearby, then that's not great. but-
Sure.
There's
Okay. I would say first, do any of you have a necklace that is like part of your usual attire? Okay. Opal, I would say you notice that the woman that has been speaking to you as the brother has been continuing to search is wearing a pretty ornate necklace herself.
Mhm.
And so that could ping this if you're closer to that than
Is her necklace a gold necklace?
yes.
Oh.
It's a very similar necklace, but instead of an emerald, it has kind of the opposite. So it has the ruby in the center and is surrounded by emeralds.
I was about to
So
say, maybe
seems
you
to be a
just-
twin of the other necklace.
I was saying maybe you
This
just
spell-
cast locate object on the but
Well, this
those-
spell is 10 minutes concentration. Could I like walk away from her?
Yeah, it says it's the nearest object of the particular kind. So I'd read that as if it lasts that long. As you walk away and the other necklace becomes closer, that would
cool.
ping instead.
Okay, great. So I'll just like sort of walk in both directions and see if I get anything. Particularly toward where Ryvar went, where they said they dropped it.
Okay.
That'll be
Um,
better.
So you start basically kind of, we'll say, from that 20-foot away edge where they say they entered the water and just start walking as you cast the spell. Immediately, you see the ping on her as her necklace lights up and pings for you. And obviously, as you get closer and closer, that stays. Ryvar, we'll do a quick investigation for you, looking on the other side of the bridge.
That is a 9, and I don't think I have it. No, just regular 9.
Okay, with a 9, you also do the same as Mr. Thomas did. You kind of go down, search for as long as you can hold your breath, come back up, search, do that a couple times. You're not really seeing anything. But Opal,
Hopeless.
as you pass as you pass by, are you in the water or are you staying? Oh, right, of course. But as you kind of walk down the bank, where as close to the water as you're comfortable, as you get basically halfway between the bridge and the far side of the bridge and this elf, it does the like focus weird thing where as you step, it like focuses in front of you towards the bridge, and as you lean back a little bit, it focuses back, so you're kind of at the halfway point. And you can realize at that point that it's under the bridge somewhere this necklace is.
If Ryvar surfaces for some air, I would tell him that. It's under the bridge.
Oh, great. I go look under the bridge.
Give me another investigation with
Oh,
advantage.
Oh, thank gosh. Thank gosh. Natural roll 20!
Nice.
Woo, there it is.
As you hear Opal call this out to you, you dive down and look around, and since you were on that far side of the bridge anyway, you immediately look to your right, and on one of the support beams of this bridge that go into the water and into the ground and the riverbed, you see almost like wrapped around it perfectly, caught on this brace is a necklace, as this elf described.
I am going to, where I start this sentence might be that much. I'm going to, like, sneakily not, like, put it in my pocket, like, underwater. And then come back out of the water and say, I can't see it, I don't know. And I'm going to walk over to you, Opal, acting like I didn't find it. And then, because we're on the other side of the bridge, right? Or I can go on the other side of the bridge. Because I was under the bridge, so I can just go on the other side of the bridge.
Yeah.
And then so I'll like get Opal, and we'll be on the other side of the bridge from the brother and sister, like out of eyesight. And I take out the necklace and I say, I want to make sure this is.
Yes, good idea. I'll take a minute to cast Identify and say, stall for me.
Oh, keep looking! Oh! They're coming over.
I'm desperate to try to find it. I don't know that you found it. I'm like, I'll find it. I'll find it.
Keep looking, Mr. Thomas. I think you're close. I think it might be under the bridge, maybe.
Dive back down.
Trying to find. What? It was an actual. Either way, you cast Identify on this necklace, and it is basically a necklace of protection, which mechanically gives someone a +1 AC. similar to Chad's medallion. It's
Who?
a magical item, but nothing nefarious. It is just a necklace of protection.
Cool. I think they're good.
Why do they need protection? Oh, I'm not there.
Opal, do you agree?
Yes, I
I have to. I'm just feeling like really good at being a good person. And I
Well,
take
go
the
give it to
necklace and I swim back. And I like kind of join Mr. Thomas. And then I want to like wait to see like where he's going down and like drop the necklace like right underneath him.
Okay, give me a sleight of hand check.
Oh my god.
That is a. That's a 4. So 4 plus. Out of hand 4, 8.
Mr. Thomas, what is your passive perception?
11.
Damn it.
So you notice Ryvar putting this necklace in front of you as you dive down to search once more.
I notice that he's like trying to set it up for me, so I come back up without grabbing it. I appreciate the offer, but I have to do this myself.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I saw it. Now it's yours to grab.
Sure. I'll tell him.
But this is kind. If I do this, is like kind of like lying. Yeah, this is way worse than sarcasm.
Okay. I'll get the necklace. You'll get the next
Okay. Yes, I'll get the next one.
one. I go down and I get the necklace and I come back up. I found your necklace!
Oh my god. And she, like, as fast as you can run through water, she runs towards you and just takes the necklace and then throws both hands
Oh.
around, arms around you. Just says, oh, our parents would have killed us. Oh
No,
my
it's
goodness.
okay. You should really be thanking my friend Opal. She's the one that technically actually.
Oh, thank you both. Here,
Don't
here.
go hug her
It
right
just
now.
as a no, I
She doesn't
okay.
like wet.
Oh, that's fair. Well, as a token of my appreciation here, and she goes to the side satchel that she has, and Ryvar, please give me a D100.
Ooh, no, okay, I'll do this in
Oh.
roll 20 because I don't have. I want to. 13.
Okay. Then give me also.
Subtable.
So many subtables, dude.
We'll go ahead and do a D6 again.
D6.
Mm-hmm.
You get 6 necklace of
Why is my roll
protections.
20? Okay, 2.
All right. So 13, then a 2. She gives you a potion of greater healing.
Whoa!
Oh.
You did not have to. I feel like you should. use
Oh
this to
no,
protect
please,
you.
please! It's the least we could do. I mean, I don't think I'm kidding when my parents would have killed us if we came back without this.
Well,
I mean, killed my brother at least, so it's really you're saving his skin than mine.
people make mistakes.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, have you ever been south of here?
No, this is our first time out here. Actually, like I said, we just kind of got a little stir crazy in, ironically, the forest of all places. But just needed a change, so we came out here.
Yeah, we're currently heading to. What was ahead of us, you know? But hey, mystery's
Yeah,
great
sure.
too.
Sure, yeah, of course. And she'll turn to her brother and hand him the necklace. And as he puts it on, she'll sign to him. You don't know this, but just basically says, "Be careful, dumbass."
Oh.
And oh yeah, he's deaf, but his way he's not very talkative either.
In Elvish, I will say. I hope you have safe travels back to your.
He can lip read and can lip read Elvish as well. So signs thank you to you, and signs that we should go basically to his sister and says yes we need to go. Again, thank you so much and safe travels to you as well.
Of course, thank you.
Be
Alright.
safe.
Yes, thank
Okay.
you.
I look over at Thomas. Are you like stuck in this river?
Just grab my arms.
It's like while you like if you stand still, you're just slowly sinking
Yeah.
the entire time. I help Mr. Thomas out of the river.
Okay, we'll say you went ahead and went to the other side of the river. Opal, you crossed the bridge.
Surprised there was no
and
troll under there.
as
What?
far as you know.
I said I was surprised there was no troll under there.
Oh, thought you said there was a troll.
No, just
Okay.
a couple shark snakes.
Ah! I like
Smack.
I smack him on the back.
I laugh.
All the young kids at the square when I was doing the hunger strike used to troll me.
That's rough, buddy.
I didn't know what it
The
means.
silence.
What are you supposed to say to that?
As you guys get to the other side and begin to make camp, I assume.
Oh yeah, I'm just tired.
Okay.
I didn't do anything, but I'm tired.
CP.
Anxiety.
Yeah.
Then who is on watch for this one?
I'll watch first.
I'll
or
watch.
second or
I'll
third.
watch last.
I'll watch
Okay,
second.
I'll do first.
Okay. I'll sleep.
I slept on the
Ezra,
way here.
Go ahead
Yes.
and give me a perception check.
Oh no, it's gonna be a 6.
Okay. You don't notice anything.
I guess not.
You give it to Ryvar. Ryvar,
9.
you also don't notice anything.
Okay.
Mr. Thomas.
I've never noticed anything on any watch.
It's true.
13.
13. Give me a roll on a d10.
Whoa.
Subtable. 9.
Okay.
Oh god.
9 wolves.
Become our friends.
All right. Let me actually check one more thing.
9 wolves cuddle with you.
9 little wolves. And
Cuddling
down
that
the
kid.
window.
9 little wolves were cuddling.
Yeah, okay, so, with a 9, you don't notice anything.
No.
Until as you're hanging out on the mud bank that is still muddy from everything.
Make a dirt deposit.
This was a fun game.
You he's gone. He excused himself. You notice enough of a, it almost is like you could have sworn the mud moved on just on the bank that you just crossed, and you kind of stare at it for a second and you're like, nah, that did move. And you continue, and then you just kind of look at Cinnamon and just get lost and just like admiring the beauty of this horse that you've had the pleasure of riding the last couple days.
Yeah.
And because of that, you don't notice that the mud behind you and on the bank of this river starts to move again and starts to shift and shimmy up, almost like someone's taking it and molding it into something. And it grows and it grows and it grows and it continues growing into this large blob, and then hands start to form and arms start to form out of this blob until you all see who will get a surprise round to all of you next time.
Oh.
You're attacked by these mud creatures
Mud
coming out
creatures.
and surprising you out of the mud,
No.
and we will start next session.
No.
Rolling initiative.
Oh my
No.
god.
God damn it, Thomas and your horse.
Who's a good girl, Cinnamon?
Oh my god.
Fantastic. Wow.
Woof.
All right. Well, thank you guys. That was a lot of fun. And
Thank
a lot
you.
of
What a
non-combat
traveling
encounters. I think on my table, you almost selected every single non-combat encounter.
Oh my
Guys,
We are the
that
villains.
allowed for some fun
We
roleplay.
did some
So
Yeah, there's a lot of roleplay. That was a lot
yeah,
of fun.
yeah, it was nice. It was a nice change from getting into your classic encounter. But now you
Yeah.
have these fun mud beasts to deal with next
Oh,
time at the end of a long day. So we'll see how the soon-to-be named muffins handle mud coming to life and attacking them.
Mud.
I'm sure Opal is super excited about it.
Stop it.
But yeah, so we are 2 weeks away from that happening. So tune in 2 Mondays from now to see where we go from here. And this week we have Monster Hearts.
Mhm.
Yes. On
Yeah.
Thursday. Heck yeah. So tune in on Thursday for
Ooh.
Monster Hearts, coming back to high school with us, and then on Sunday we are back in Teheroth, I believe.
Maybe not.
No, maybe not. Oh,
Maybe
right.
not.
I keep forgetting that.
Keep
But
your
either way,
Sundays
stay
open.
tuned. Keep your Sundays open no matter
Stuff
what.
is happening on Sundays. We just
Yeah.
don't know what it's gonna be yet.
Hang out.
Yeah. But yeah. But thank you for watching, and thank you to all of these beautiful players. As Zach says, the best players a GM can ask for. Even when he is a player, he is also one of the best players a GM could ask for. And as always, everybody say bye.
Bye.
Ah.
The tweets are dwindling.
The tweet.